The Big 12 ended its regular season last year with a four-way tie at the top. These two teams were involved. BYU didn't make the Big 12 title game. Iowa State did. The Cougars want to avoid anything like that this year. They are unbeaten, and they have hopes of even more than a Big 12 title, but you got to get there first. Iowa State trying to drag the Cougars back into that pack and give the Cyclones a chance to do what they did last year, come back to make the Big 12 title game. Thanks for joining us. This is going to be a good one. Jason Benetti, Robert Griffin III, Alexa Landestoy downstairs. When we left you in Provo last week, you said BYU, the ceiling is national championship contender.
Yes, and I still believe that. But in order to convince the entire world that that's the case, they have to play a full 60 minutes of football, start fast, and finish strong. And for them to do that, it all starts with their young freshman quarterback, Bear Bachmeier. This guy is an explosive runner. Anything that he can possibly do to go score, he's going to do it. Jump over guys, juke them, run through them. He leads the Big 12 for quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns with 8, and he's decisive as a runner as well and a thrower of the football. He puts his foot in the ground. He's going north and south. And right now for BYU, they have never beat Iowa State. Ever. We'll see if they can exercise that demon today.
Rocco Becht is a quarterback for Iowa State. We've seen him for years in a Cyclone jersey. They're off a bye week. They can add some stuff for a veteran quarterback.
Yes, they can. And Rocco Becht, if you know this guy, he is kind of like Brock Purdy. He's very, very tough, and he knows that this game decides their season. Whether or not they're going to be able to stay in this Big 12 race will be determined right after this kick.
His team will get it first. Iowa State and BYU in a pivotal game in the Big 12 as the calendar flips to November. Next week, we go downstairs to Alexa on BYU's possible hangover after Utah.
Yeah, JB, that was a point of emphasis immediately following that game against Utah. They do not want to let that game linger and affect them here in the weeks to come, because if you remember, a year ago, BYU was in this same position, undefeated after the Holy War, went on to lose the next 2 games. Their only 2 losses of the season, and they do not want to let that game derail them from their ultimate goals this season. And talking to the coaches yesterday, they know that this group flipped the page, and they want to do that here today, JB.
They're going to have to do it with their defense, which has been a very strong defensive side. Top 15 scoring defense in the FBS. Rocco Becht, shot play. Eskelsen in the clear. First play, touchdown.
Holy guacamole. That's how you get the game started off if you're Iowa State.
Taylor Mauser, the offensive coordinator for Iowa State, tells Rocco Becht, go be a gunslinger.
They want their players to feel excited about the play calls. So what do you do to get their mojo back? You take a shot first play of the game.
To Brett Eskelsen, the sophomore.
So you're going to see Brett Eskelsen motions across the formation. They get Fatuala, the safety number 11, in man coverage and run a stop and go route on him. And anytime you have a safety in coverage with a corner blitz coming, the wide receivers are licking their chops. Watch him. Just a little head fake to keep his momentum going forward, track the football, and then go score, young man. Go score.
Well, you kind of got the feeling that after kind of grinding it out with the run game and losing a few games before the bye, that maybe a shot was coming early. Play number 1 from Taylor Mauser that he dials up for Becht to Eskelsen is 75 yards to absolutely wire this stadium.
And they're just playing on their football IQ. They brought that corner blitz knowing that the receiver usually looks quickly and gets that pass. Not this time, buddy. You come downhill, we're going over the top.
Cody Hagan on the return for BYU. This is a very resilient team. Hagan has some space And he's across the 30-yard line. If you didn't see him last week running over Utes in Provo, here is Bear Bachmeier. You may have heard of his brother Hank, who played quarterback at Boise State, among other places. But that 2-year-old picture of Bear Bachmeier was when they started to realize that he was going to be an athletic prodigy. Went to Stanford, coaching change, ends up coming to BYU May, June. First true freshman to start 7-0 in the FBS since his brother. It's a whole family thing for the Bachmeiers of California.
Yes, it is. They understand what it means to be tough. He said his demeanor comes from growing up in a house of chaos, and he's in chaos right now.
In a heartbeat, L.J. Martin can break some tackles, and he gets a yard, and that's it. Caleb Bacon was in there. BYU's offensive line on that touchdown last week, Lapuaho was very involved.
Yes, he was. Helped drag his quarterback or push his quarterback into the end zone, and he's ready to push some people around today. Then you talk about L.J. Martin. He's 5th in the country in rushing right now. He's got 5 100-yard rushing games. He only had 2 in the previous 2 years combined, so he is playing at a super high level.
Bachmeier, play action. He'll throw it to the sideline, and he's got it to Chase Roberts. Did he have it? Yes, the officials say in unison. Over on the sideline for a BYU first down and 13.
Yeah, you're going to watch his feet here. Chase Roberts, he drags the toes. Both are on the ground. You only need one in college football, but he has possession of the football. That is a catch.
The crowd doesn't agree with you at the replay they're seeing.
He's got to get it control all the way down to the ground. You see it here. Ball's in his hand. Feet are on the ground. That's a catch.
For now.
This play is on a replay review.
This will go to our replay center. Chase Roberts says, yeah, I got it. I got it. I'm good. Mike Pereira is with us today.
They're going to be looking to see if he had possession with his feet and toes on the ground, or if that back foot was out of bounds. It looks from this angle like they're inbounds, and he has control of the ball.
Yeah, that's the key right there. Does he have control of the ball? I think he does with that right toe still down as he maintains control going to the ground. Really tough call. Both officials very positive of a catch, and from what I see, I like it as the catch also.
When is it officially control, Mike? What are the officials looking for here?
Well, you know, we talk about does he stick it, okay? So does it stick right in his hands immediately, like it does in my opinion here? Again, really tight, but that's the thing. When it gets right into the hands immediately, he's got control, and then you see that right toe's on the ground.
Here's a call.
After review, the ruling on the field of a completed catch for a first down is upheld.
Mike Pereira earning his keep early. $1:16 in. Mike's punching the time clock.
We see you, Mikey P.
This is the lay of the land for BYU, though. Look, they won by 6 in double overtime at Arizona, by 3 last week against Utah, beat Colorado by 3. They're the close win team so far this year in college football.
They've been very resilient, and, you know, for them, as they rush to get to the line of scrimmage here, trying to catch this Iowa State defense off guard.
It's a run for Martin away from the trip set, and he breaks a couple tackles to get across midfield against an Iowa State defense that John Haycock always has in that 3-3-5 set. How does that match up with BYU?
Yeah, there's going to be guys coming from all over the place, and you talk about Tamatoa McDonough here, relentless rusher. They get Dominique Orange back as well. Caleb Bacon at the second level. This guy loves contact. We've got some amazing stories to tell you about him growing up playing flag football. And then Marcus Neal Jr., downhill player for them, playing at the star position. He is the tone setter for this defense.
2nd and 6. Bachmeier rolling this way. He'll set up. He'll wing it. It's Roberts again, breaking a tackle. Chase Roberts back inside and inside the 5. Trey Bell had him at first, couldn't bring him down. It's a gain of 45.
Beautiful play action, movement play here. Bear's going to go here and wing right back around. Or should I the other way, ring back right around, and then he's got Chase Roberts coming underneath, gets his shoulders downhill, makes this throw, and it's accurate, which allows Roberts to get vertical after the catch. Yards after the catch is something that BYU is so good at. Look at his eyes. He's like, I want this right there, and he puts it right on the money. Chase is always on the case.
Top 5 yards after the catch team in college football, top 10 offensively and defensively, denying yards after the catch. And we get a whistle before the snap.
First charge, timeout, BYU.
It's a BYU timeout. They've struggled at points in the red zone this year. We'll see if they can punch it in. Today's game flow sponsored by Progressive. The flow is very quickly to the end zone so far. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico. 2 years ago, Iowa State went into Provo and had some of the BYU coaches thinking, we should play like that. That's a team we can model ourselves after. 45-13. Nearly 7 yards a carry in that game for Iowa State. They have the lead early in a game that BYU's never won.
Yeah, they felt like they got out physical, the BYU coaches did. So if I'm them right here, I'm running quarterback power because they know it's coming and we should run it.
It's Martin instead. He is in. Touchdown. L.J. Martin, just like that. A response from BYU.
They didn't run quarterback power, but they did run their big back right down the middle of the field, getting through these gaps. Watch how they move. They pull the front side guard. They roll it all down, get him to the edge defender, which means that secondary guy. And sometimes when little people try to hit big people, they let them get into the end zone, Jason.
Yeah, well, I know the feeling. 42 years of life. Extra point for Will Ferrin is good. If it's going to be like this, this is the Big 12 in one football game so far. Call, answer. You never know in this league. Our scoring summary sponsored by Modelo. Now recruiting full-time fans, please drink responsibly. For a BYU team that will sit on the ball and have some long, drawn-out drives. They got to the end zone, rapid fire, 232, and L.J. Martin touchdown. Chase Roberts, big on that drive.
And this was huge for them because, as you said, 2 years ago, they got punched in the mouth, and they didn't respond early in the game when they had made some mistakes. Here, the offense picks up the defense, and they're right back in it.
Just like that. Back to zeros, and there's a fair catch for Iowa State. They'll get it at the 25. Back to the touchdown.
Now, I want to show you guys this right here. You got Brett Eskelson going in motion, and as he goes in motion, it tells the quarterback, hey, we have zone, but then they bring the corner on this corner pressure, which means the safety becomes man-to-man coverage with the receiver on the outside. They're thinking, hey, normally they throw that short. This time he goes over the top, and no safety in the country would be ready to guard that. They got out-schemed right there, and Iowa State was able to execute with Rocco Beck getting a big-time touchdown.
Both teams indicated that the receiver matchup and specifically the tight end matchup with Satuala would be important in this game, including his secondary mate, Tanner Wall. That's a run for Townsend, and he is dropped by Jack Kelly for a loss of 1. We didn't even get the chance to properly introduce Rocco Beck to this party because he ran through the door with a 75-yard touchdown. He is the most consistent starting quarterback in terms of starts consecutively in the FBS, and he hits Cooper Alexander for his second catch of the year. We're going to see a lot of multi-tight end with Bohr back at left guard as well.
Yeah, Trevor Bohr missed the first 5 games. Coaches told us since he's been back in, this offensive line has been acting different in a good way. Then you got Abusama III. This young man might be the best athlete on the field, had 177 yards rushing against Colorado, and he's ready to truly put his stamp on this being his running back room.
He had a huge gain in that BYU game 2 years ago. There he hops through a hole and gets stood up by Wall along with Alexander as Sarah was in there first. Nice gain for Sama. This BYU defense, we talked about Tanuvasa and the rivalry. This defensive line is nasty.
Yes, very nasty, and they rotate guys in there to make sure they stay fresh to rush the passer.
Here's another run, and Sama is not going to go anywhere. He's dumped by Satuala and company. It's 3rd down.
And you're going to see this as it comes out to the right side of your screen. You see Isaiah Glasgow, number 16, is going to show up right here in a hurry with the neck roll on. He gets stiff armed to the ground because Abu Sama said he's not worried about you right now. But the fact that you are able to turn that back in to the interior of the defense is a good missed tackle, Jason.
It allows for a third down for this defense. Here comes Latui. He didn't get there. Instead, it goes to the sideline, and that is a first down for Iowa State and Gabe Burkle. So 2 tight ends have catches already. Gain of 16 here.
Just a nice, they're going to run an out route and a corner route. Gabe Burkle gets in behind the corner, beats the safety, and who's Johnny on the spot? Rocco Beck throws it right in there in front of Tanner Wall, number 28 for BYU.
Backed again on the money to the 32. It's Chase Sowell with his first catch. It's been mostly tight ends this year for Iowa State, but the receivers a couple of grabs early, including the touchdown.
And this is what you do when you're a smart offensive coordinator like Taylor Mauser is. Hey, you've had some struggles at wide receiver. The guys you don't know what everybody has this far into the season. So what do? You come out in the first couple drives, you give them a shot down the field, and you allow them to feel a part of the game. Trust them, let them know that you believe in their ability, and now you've got Rocco Beck in rhythm.
Second and short, typically a running down for Iowa State. Tendency-wise, it's Tyler Moore with this catch. That's just the 6th time all year they've thrown it on second and short. They're breaking tendencies except for this. 3 tight ends have caught the ball already.
Yes, and we might see up towards of 5 tight ends catch the football today. This is essentially tight end university. Look at that. 3rd in the FBS in receptions, 1st in receiving yards. If you like tight ends, this is your type of game.
Oh, there's a whole stack of them on the roster. And there they go in motion, like all of them. Bramer, Burkle, and Moore all flowing right to left in the formation. And they will run behind those tight ends with Sama, who's hit from behind by Satuwala. If you look, you talk about 12 personnel. That's 1 back, 2 tight ends. Nobody does it more than Iowa State. And the thing is, there's compound interest on it. There was a 3rd tight end in there that time. What does it do for this offense?
Yeah, you see 13 personnel, we'll see 14 personnel. It gives them matchups. If you bring in 4 tight ends, 2, 3 tight ends into the game, are they going to bring an extra safety in? Are they going to put another linebacker in? Or are they going to bring a nickel? If you go small with this unit, they will run the ball. And if you go big, they will throw it.
Now they do motion with Sama. Beck will throw it, and it's dropped by Hansen. It was on his hands. Incomplete. Tough catch, but it was there for a team that has struggled with drops this year.
Yeah, Carson Hansen there is a little bit behind him, but you look at all these guys that are in Rocco Beck's face. He has to put this ball out there, and it's a little inaccurate. But in these types of games where every single possession and every single play matters, if you're Carson Hansen, you got to make that catch.
It's the 17th drop this year, if you call it one, for Iowa State. 8-4 in motion from the backfield. Third down, Rocco Beck. He wants Flora, and it's incomplete. They motioned him out. They liked the matchup. It was there, and it's a miss for the Cyclones.
They knew they had man coverage, so they matched him up right here with the linebacker, and they're going to run him outside and have 2 natural picks. And then it's just a matter of just throwing this up the field. If Rocco throws this ball up the field towards the end zone, it's a touchdown. And you can see the disappointment. He knew he kind of got tricked by the 2 shell, thinking that they would be over the top.
The good news is Iowa State has a kicker again. They had an offensive lineman kick 2 weeks ago against Colorado. Kyle Conrady, who legitimately got the biggest round of applause in pregame lineup announcements, sticks it through for a 10-7 Cyclone lead. Could have been more. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico. Here in Ames, Iowa, 2 coaches that have a great deal of respect for one another. Matt Campbell has done some real damage against the top 25 in spots just like this one. And Kalani Sitake, the BYU alumnus, former fullback there, 18-2 since last year. If not for that tiebreaker and a couple losses, the weird one to Kansas at home, 2 of them down the stretch, we'd be talking about them like Iowa State last year in the Big 12 title game.
Yes, we would. And isn't it always funny that when a head coach opening comes up, it's Matt Campbell's name that always finds its way into the headlines.
Here's Hagan on the return, and he gets pounded at the 27. Oh, hold on. There's a flag before we get to Three's Keys. It's our favorite time of the week, and we're just going to have to wait. See what the marker is.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 91, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Big penalty there. It's more fulfilling when you have to wait. Three's Keys, part of Geico. Get more game plan. Geico, switch and save. Get more with Geico. What do you got?
We're not going to let a holding call get in the way of this. Today for BYU, they have to be tight end detectors. Wherever those tight ends go, they know that that's probably where the ball is going to flow. For Iowa State, they got to have that corn-fed contact. Don't get tired of hitting running back L.J. Martin. He normally wears people down. And it's going to be 4th down territory for both of these teams the entirety of this game. They love going for it on 4th down, and they're really good at converting on 4th downs.
They've done it a combined 31 times this year, going for it on 4th down. Bachmeier is hit, and he is dropped. Will McLaughlin got in there and took him down, loss of 8.
Yes, Will McLaughlin is coming off the edge. He's going to get inside. Blitz, they don't even really see him that well. He comes through off of the guard and gets right in there on Bear Bachmeier before he has an opportunity to get rid of the football. When you have a young freshman quarterback that you're going against, bring pressure, because it's not just hard for the quarterback, it's also hard for that offensive line.
And some of the contact you're talking about from the kids from Iowa. He's from Defiance, Iowa, Will McLaughlin.
He was very defiant on that one.
Play clock winding down to 2. Martin in motion, and we have a whistle. A marker in, and a false start coming.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, half a distance to the goal. Remains first down.
For as good, he
Correction,
means second down. Yeah, there you go. And for as good as his offensive line has been, false start and holding penalties have been an issue. They are in the bottom 40 of all of college football. 22 false starts and holdings this year.
Yeah, and you don't want to continue to put yourself behind the 8 ball. And now they're even further into their own territory with that student section in the back going bonkers.
Oh, and they're very fortunate the whistle came. It was an awful snap. Let's see what this is.
False start.
Another one.
Offense number 11. Half a distance to the goal. Remains second down.
You hear that crowd? They're calling a false start on number 11, which is Parker Kingston. But this is a false start on everybody except for the center. You see, as Bear Bachmeier goes to clap, everyone else takes off and the center's late on the snap. They're going to have to switch over to their silent cadence, which they don't want to do because it puts the offensive line about a half second behind. But they got to right now because this place is absolutely a madhouse.
And it got louder after that call. Pressure coming on Bachmeier. He spins out of it initially and gets dragged down. Caleb Bacon was in there. Marcus Neal provided the initial pressure from the safety spot to Bachmeier's left.
And Jason, that was the same pressure that they had just brought from Will McLaughlin. Off the edge to the open side of the formation where the slot receiver is, forcing Bear to have to make quick decisions if their offensive line, the running backs, cannot pick up the protection.
This place is a powder keg right now. It's a handoff. It's Kingston. And Parker Kingston gets him out of that shadow of the end zone at least. They just needed some yards. And you see the back of his jersey. That's a metaphor for how it's gone so far for BYU.
Yes, Iowa State wants to hit these guys from BYU every chance they get. They know that they're coming on the road after a very emotional Holy War football game where they came out victorious. And when we talked to Matt Campbell, he said, we want to attack the mentality of BYU. They're doing that right now with how physical they're playing.
Yeah, they say we just have to be aggressive everywhere. We have to attack everywhere. Sam Vanderhart a punt. Flora back to receive for Iowa State. He's at the 40, and he waves for a fair catch. It's a 43-yard punt and no return. And the Cyclones will have it up 10-7. And we've talked about how wild this Big 12 is. Who knows what the rest of this game is going to be. We still got 50 minutes left in this thing. It's already 10-7. Here we go. Fox College football is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. And by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. 3 weeks ago, Iowa State was BYU like they are now, undefeated. Rocco Becht has a first quarter career high of $122. And look, he's talked about a different type of leadership this year with some new receivers. That bye week has been very fruitful so far.
Yeah, this is exactly how you want to come off the bye week. Giving your guys confidence, and we'll talk about how they're actually attacking this BYU defense after this.
He'll throw it to the left, and he'll get it out for Alexander. You see Max Alford in at linebacker for BYU. Why, Alexa?
Line was working with the trainers. I noticed he was holding his arm. He then went into the injury tent, has not come out. Still working with the trainers. His helmet remains with the medical staff. I'll keep you updated on his status going forward.
Yeah, see Ale Acera out for BYU. Thank you for that update, Alexa. Against these tight ends, you can't afford to lose linebackers. To the outside, Hansen past Alford and Tanner Wall, knocking him out of bounds. It's a gain of 16.
When you talk about the injury, I want you to watch Max Alford right here. As this play comes out, direct snap to the back, he's supposed to fill that gap. He does it, and he ends up having to climb all the way over the top. If that was Ale Acera, he would have shot that gap immediately and made that tackle in the backfield.
Beck has Alford with him there, and Kelly ushers him out of bounds. The two linebackers together for a short gain. You know, Rocco Becht, 4 throwaways all year. He believes he can gain yards rather than just benching it.
Yeah, he's a quick guy, but it's also, you know, a compliment to his offensive coordinator, Taylor Mauser. They're running the right schemes so that they don't have to throw the football away. And right now, what I've been so impressed with what they're doing is they're using formations to get lesser qualified cover guys on their tight ends, and that's why Tyler Moore and guys like Cooper Alexander have already contributed in this game.
There's some motion from the receiver spot. He's looking this direction, and once again, he's got Carson Brown, a wide receiver, off the motion from Eli Green. Look, these receivers have not been real active this year, but clearly something has changed.
Yeah, Carson Brown has 3 catches all season.
Correct.
He just caught one right there, and if you looked at it, you would see all the space that this BYU defense is giving them. And what Rocco Becht is saying, all right, we want to hit the home run shots like we did on the first play of the game. But if I can get 6 and 7 yards and keep us on the field and get my guys involved, those plays are also valuable.
They got a tight end in at fullback here, Robert. Keaton Roscoff as well. He will lead for Hansen, who just missed a chance to break through. Max Alford with the tackle. It is a first down, but boy, that could have gone for more.
Yeah, you talk about having so many tight ends. They bring them all down the middle. They got this guy blocking, pulling the guard in there to get in front of Carson Hansen. Who wouldn't like a 3-man train right in front of them as they're trying to go for a first down? Really nice job there by Carson Hansen, just following his blocks and getting the first down.
For the 27. It's a delay. It's Hansen. He's got the outside. Hansen first down and more. And he is brought to the paint by Wall again. Boy, these safeties are being forced into run stopping quite a bit so far.
Yeah, they are. And they're going to pull the backside tackle and the backside guard to get out in front of Carson Hansen. And all he does is bounce it outside. He says, "Yay, Abu Sama ain't the only one who can bounce these runs."
That's 10 players with a touch, by the way, for Iowa State so far. Here he is again. Hansen gets bopped at the 7 by Talon Alfrey. It is second down coming up.
Right now, this Iowa State offensive line and all of their tight ends are leaning on this BYU defense. You can see it start to wear on them a little bit. They're going to have to wake up from last week if they want to come out here and actually shut down the run, because when this run starts rolling, Jason, their whole offense opens up.
Yeah, it certainly does. And now you got more in motion. You have Bramer attached to the formation. You talk about those matchups. These tight ends are all in on a second down run. It is straight ahead off the spin. It's Hansen again. He's got a first down in the arms of Wall. But boy, Rocco Becht has options with this type of formation, does he not?
Yeah, he does. And you're talking about duo blocks all over the place. Duo blocks. You're talking about guys moving and pushing, and they're not giving them free runners. And right now you see Tanner Wall right there, the safety number 28. BYU has to decide if they want to be catchers or throwers. Right now they're catching the blows instead of throwing them.
Which is not what we saw last week against Utah. This is a highly physical, stout team. First and goal. Back to the ground. It is Hansen, and he is in. Touchdown, Cyclones.
And they're going to bring the motion inside to block the edge. But this is just Carson Hansen getting downhill and finding a hole. Not being too pretty, not trying to tiptoe, get vertical. The fastest way between point A and point B is a straight line. At least that's what my mama told me.
And your geometry teacher, I know you did well. Certainly. Carson Hansen had 13 rushing touchdowns last year. He's top 5 in the Big 12. When they get in striking range, Iowa State feels like they can do anything right now. Deep pass on the first play, and then a ground and pound drive that certainly Matt Campbell is proud of.
This is why this team was so highly ranked coming into the season, because everyone believed they could showcase this type of offensive versatility.
And they have a kicker again. Conrady's extra point is good. 17-7 Iowa State at home. We're back in 30 seconds. (17-7) Iowa State with the lead. Carson Hansen touchdown. The Cyclones by 10 in this topsy-turvy Big 12. They haven't been stopped yet.
They have not. And in pregame, I noticed the energy on the field was favoring one team, and it was Iowa State jumping up and down, excited about this. BYU has to wake up if they want to keep their undefeated season alive.
Hagan gets an extra yard or two than a touchback would have gotten him. Oh, a little scuffle post play. No marker in. Everybody's saying I didn't do it. Somebody had to have done something.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll clear the pile and move forward. Bear Bachmeier and this BYU offense. Now, he saw some pressure from interesting spots during that last drive. Take us through, as we get to the line here, what he's looking at with John Haycock's defense.
Yeah, 2 times on that last drive, they brought pressure off the edge just to see, hey, are their backs paying attention to this? Is the quarterback, is this going to affect him? So as they get up here to the line of scrimmage, they have been bringing pressure from this spot down inside the last couple possessions, and there they go.
Fake the screen, hand it off for Martin, and L.J. Martin gets tripped up by the body on the ground. Zamir Hawk was seated and grabbed his leg to slow him down.
Yeah, they did. And right there, you talk about that pressure, Jason. What they're doing is they're trying to cap the edges, which means, hey, they know that this BYU offense loves to run outside zone. So if they pressure the edges all the time, it's going to naturally force the running back to have to cut back. And in passing situations, it's going to force the quarterback to have to get rid of the football faster.
2nd and 7 is a run. It's L.J. Martin. He gets to the outside, and he's bumped out of bounds. Is that why maybe the fake screen on the previous play?
Yes, the fake screen works because you know that they were covered down, right? So you fake that screen knowing that you're going to run the ball the whole time, get them to run outside, and you try to gash them right down the middle. But even there on that run, you got outside zone, right? A little jet sweepy action to the back. They blitzed the edges. So that is something that we have to pay attention to for the rest of this game.
Big 3rd and 3 coming up after the quarter timeout. We'll see what John Haycock, the veteran defensive coordinator, shows Bear Bachmeier. But the Cyclones are smoking so far. 17-7 after 1.
Well, Coach, 3 drives, 3 scores for this Iowa State offense. How can you slow Rocco Becht in this offense down here in the second?
Well, I think not giving away the explosive plays, make them earn everything, but they're still doing it So we've got to get knocked back on line of scrimmage, and it comes back down to the fundamentals. They had a great start. We've got to figure out a way to just settle down and just play our defense.
Alexa, thank you. Offense has to stay on the field here. That's a big part of it. They're 83rd in the country, third down percentage. This is a 3rd and 3 with Rex in the backfield. Nice pickup by him and a catch by Kingston. And the ball came out, but this play is dead. Jamison Patton knocked it free. It's a first down BYU, and Rex certainly helped.
Oh, triple switch release from the receivers, and you're going to see them come inside, go outside, and then just run a nice little short corner route there by Parker Kingston. Oh, as a quarterback in the booth right now, you see something like that, and just the distribution of everybody getting to the right spots. Really nice job of Bear of throwing a ball on his receiver to protect him from any hits.
On a drive that needed to continue. Bachmeier in the pocket, lost the football, he picks it up, McDonough knocked it free, Bachmeier wings it to the sideline, and that was a really fortunate pinball flipper bounce back to Bachmeier.
Yeah. They always say if you're rushing the passer, right here you see McDonough. He can't quite get there, but he gets a hand on the ball, on the arm, and that's why as a quarterback you gotta have 2 hands on the football as you're trying to escape the pocket. Right here, Bear's got one. You see it, grabs the arm. Now it's way too easy for that football to become a little bit flimsy in there. Good job getting it back and not making a bad play worse.
The Ivy League transfer, McDonough, has been a menace to quarterbacks this year. Here's that speed option. It flattened out, and Bachmeier with a run. There is a marker in, and Bachmeier, it took 3 guys to take him down. He is down. Cooper Ebel was in there along with Patton. We'll check the flag. It's back at the 42 in BYU territory.
It's going to be a hold on Gentry, it looks like.
Holding. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
So you saw Rex in. LJ Martin has gone to the locker room. Then you get a holding penalty on your right tackle, Gentry. Boy, Martin is a big loss for BYU, that tailback.
Yeah, that's a massive loss. Like, he is the guy that really has been the lifeblood of the offense. Yes, Bear is the star now. That was established last week. But what they've been able to do with Martin is what's kept them afloat for the majority of the season.
2nd and 20 for BYU with Rex in to lead block for Bachmeier, and he is spun around and taken down by McDonough. Delighted to be there with his teammates, and it's 3rd down.
And with LJ Martin out, there's going to be more of a responsibility on Bear Bachmeier getting downhill and making these types of runs. But you're putting him in harm's way, especially when he gets stood up like that. And guys like Jamison Patton, they call him J-Mo, can come downhill and lay that slack.
Another Iowa-born and raised young man from Des Moines, not far from here. 3rd and forever. They've got to get into Iowa State territory at the 46. This is caught off the deflection by Carson Ryan. Ebel got a hand on it. It ends up with Ryan, and now your conversation in Three's Keys about 4th down comes into play.
Yeah, this opportunity you see right here. Oh, almost an interception. Great concentration there by Carson Ryan. An amazing finish. Putting yourselves right around midfield, it does look like BYU is going to punt the football, but that's why you can't get behind the sticks. This is not that type of game, and BYU certainly doesn't want to continue to have to play from behind. Now it's up to their defense to get a stop against this red-hot Iowa State offense.
We saw a fake punt earlier for UCLA that did not go well. This is a true blue punt, and Flora on the return gets to the 20, and that is all. Iowa State will have it, as they did for most of that first quarter. Kaufusi with the stop. Cyclones will have it up by 10, looking for the upset against unbeaten BYU. Fox College football is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands. And by Kubota, your compact equipment provider. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Lovely Ames, great place to watch football and basketball and so many sports. Just a tremendous fan base. They lead by 10, and for BYU, a big injury. LJ Martin is over on the sideline, their tailback. Here's the play we think it happened on.
Yeah, and he goes low, tries to run over Trey Bell, the corner number 7 for Iowa State. And you see that grimace on his face. It's like, my shoulder. And for them, you know, you hope that the young man is okay and can get back out there in this game. But if he's out, the offensive coordinator for BYU, Aaron Roderick, did tell us this week that they felt like they could come out and throw the football on this Iowa State defense. And now they might not have any other choice, because the way that LJ Martin runs and how physical he is what has made this offense go and allow Bear Bachmeier to ease his way into college football.
They're at 5.5+ yards per carry for the year. They're a top 30 yards per carry, and then top 15 yards after contact per carry team. And now Iowa State with a lead, scoring on their first 3 drives for the first time in a while, and they've got the ball again off the punt from the 25. The officials did confer. It looked like they assessed an illegal formation penalty, and now another big run for Sama against BYU. That is a very similar run to one he had 2 years ago in Provo.
Oh my goodness, watch this guy. Gets 2 guys to go outside, and then he gets vertical. I'ma say it, I'ma sa manapusa. Come on now.
You want to say that again?
Sama say, sama sa manapusa. Watching this guy on tape has been a blast. He is a dynamic one-cut downhill back who can hit the home run. Very rare, and he's just coming into his own more and more. The more carries he gets, the better he gets.
A long jump star in high school. Abu Sama back on the throw. Oh, what a one-handed grab! Bramer with glue on those fingertips. 24. Goodness.
Watch this. Benjamin Bramer. Ooh, look, ma. One hand. Why put up 2 when you can just go and snag it with one like that? Good God.
Just stapled the ball to his hand. Becht. Pressure coming. It's intercepted. Picked off on the sideline by Lutui. That was Max Alford with the pressure, the replacement for Acera speeding it up, and BYU has a huge turnover.
Oh my goodness. Talk about going from a high to an extreme low right there. Logan Lutui says he's just going to be Johnny on the spot after the pressure from Max Alford. Hey, you going to throw it to me? Well, I guess I'm going to catch it then. BYU with the ball when we get back.
Don't want to miss an upset? Just tell Siri. Show me the college football schedule.
17-7 Iowa State, but a turnover from Rocco Becht. The pressure from Max Alford, Logan Lutui with the interception, and BYU has a chance on the ball. It's a handoff for Rex, and he is sliced down immediately. Back to the pick.
Yeah, and you're going to see Max Alford here. He's going to bring pressure here. Logan Lutui is going to drop out. And as Rocco Becht goes through this, he feels the pressure, but I don't think he ever sees Lutui, and he's throwing this ball as if no one is there. It's not a miscommunication on the route because they had all verticals from everybody else. So right there, he just didn't see and he threw it right to him.
Middle screen. Kingston, that's incomplete. Third down, BYU without LJ Martin, Alexa.
Yeah, LJ Martin, you saw him leave for the locker room. I'm just being told in my ear that he will not return. He had some x-rays and he is done for the day.
Wow, that's an enormous loss for BYU. They're already without Sione Moa, another very talented running back. And LJ Martin out creates a whole different can of worms for BYU.
Now they only have really one running back in Preston Rex, and he's a former corner from last year, or safety from last year.
Bachmeier heaves it middle of the field. Kingston. Parker Kingston, the track star from high school, is out of bounds across the 35.
Really nice job. A lot of eye candy. You got this guy coming across. You got a fake from the back. And then watch how Bear Bachmeier navigates this. Moves up in the pocket and delivers a strike to Parker Kingston, who finishes it. Look at his eyes. Stays downfield, not worried about the rush. Great protection from the offensive line. They're going to need more of that from Bear Bachmeier because now they're forced, it feels like, to throw the football and have that be the primary thing that they do with this offense with their starting running back, L.J. Martin, out of the game.
They'll give him all the way to the 28. They'll go with the motion. Bachmeier steps up in the middle of the field, and Ryan gets absolutely drilled by Dom Orange. Big Citrus just put the squeeze on Ryan.
Oh, I could feel this one up here. He throws it to Carson Ryan, and boom! Big Citrus looking like the Kool-Aid man out there.
It's not a wall he ran through.
He tried to, but the wall won.
That's a person. Second down. Pressure from the safety spot. They'll get to Bachmeier. He is sacked. It's Will McLaughlin again. They had to pick one of the free runners to pick up, Robert.
Yes. They end up bringing Will McLaughlin from here and the safety right here, Marcus Neal Jr. You got to block one of them. They didn't block two of them. And because of that, Bear Bachmeier ends up on the ground. Now, offensive coordinator for BYU, Aaron Roderick, is going to have to start talking to Bear about making some of these protection adjustments, especially if he's getting two to the side of the back. He won't have an opportunity to block that. Now you see this six-up look that Iowa State has been known for. BYU has to determine who's coming and who's dropping.
Kalani Sitake was on the field calling the timeout. Bachmeier is having to rifle through a lot of things provided by John Haycock, that defensive coordinator.
Even Kalani Sitake didn't know who was coming. That's why he called timeout.
3rd and 13 when we come back. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico. BYU has lived in 3rd and long today, Robert.
Yes, they have lived there, and that's not where you want to be for a team that is primarily a run-first team. Now, Iowa State is not in that six-up look, but I still expect them to bring some version of pressure as they look like both those backers right here in the middle of your screen are creeping towards the line of scrimmage.
And two backs for BYU, including Navahine, who helps with the protection. Bachmeier this way, incomplete for Kingston. It is 4th down for BYU. Yeah, Aaron Roderick last week used a lot of max protect sort of stuff. And now you almost have to think about that again, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And right there, he actually did go.
Yeah.
Max protect with 7. And if you're Bear, I'm on the sideline right now talking to Bear Bachmeier saying, hey, right there, we had you protected. Yes, they brought both inside backers, but guess what? You were protected there, and you could have taken an extra beat to give your guy Parker Kingston an opportunity to come out of that. He's got to settle in and deliver the ball.
And he needs a field goal from Will Farron, who has hit from 56 this year. A bit of a high snap, but Farron drives through it and knocks it home. BYU is within 7 with all that's gone poorly. They're still hanging around. Unbeaten BYU. The operation was good enough. The Cougars are within 1 score. Last night, the Blue Jays made a monster statement to take Game 1 of the World Series. Now Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers look to even that series. Game 2 coverage of the World Series begins next, right here on Fox. That place was insane last night in Toronto. It's insane.
It was. What do you think the Dodgers need to do to get back on track?
I think they got to figure out how to get that top of the lineup on track. Like, put pressure on the Blue Jays early in this game, like Iowa State did, with a 75-yard touchdown on the first play from scrimmage. And that has sort of set the stage for combat today. A little hesitation, and look out, Zay Robinson got awoken by BYU's coverage team. So Iowa State, first 3 possessions were great. That interception flipped this game.
Yeah, you're talking about they're driving down the field, about to go up probably 24-7, and really making BYU have a little bit of deja vu, right, from 2 years ago. But throwing that interception, now it's a 7-point game. BYU gets the ball coming out of halftime. This is a big possession here for Iowa State. BYU knows the momentum has shifted to their side.
Remember, BYU playing without Siale as Sarah, the linebacker. They got 2 linebackers in here. It's Kelly and Glasker against this Iowa State team that has tight ends that play like wide receivers sometimes. Here comes Latui. He got to Becht again. It's Hansen out of the backfield. Man, Evan Johnson with a brilliant open field tackle there for BYU.
Oh, my goodness. Logan Latui has been on a heater the last 2 weeks. You're going to see him going up against James Neal III right here at the bottom of your screen. Just speed rush, dips that shoulder, boom. And those hits, even though it's not a sack, it reminds the quarterback, hey, man, I don't have all day back
Do you
here.
need that reminder as a quarterback?
Yeah, sometimes you feel like you got some time, but right now, Rocco Becht does not.
2nd and 7 for Rocco and this Iowa State offense. It's Hansen again, flowing to the right, and then he goes through the tunnel. Man, did he hit the gas pedal. It's a first down. You talk about decisively hitting a hole. He did it right there behind Bohr.
I just love watching the big fellas pull. You get the backside guard and the front side guard pulling out, starting that caravan for Carson Hansen, and then whoop, gets down the tunnel, as you so eloquently stated, Jason, and finishes going forward. That is what Carson Hansen is known for. Mr. Reliable. He's going to do everything the right way, and he's going to hit the right hole at the right time.
Father was a player at North Dakota State. Carson here at Iowa State. And you know what they tell both backs? Like, take the 2-yard runs sometimes. Those things will pile up for you late in the game. And doesn't BYU know that?
Yeah, they do pile up, and it also makes the offensive linemen feel good. They love 20, 30-yard runs.
So much for 2-yard gains, by the way. They're averaging 7+ per carry. But they'll take the 2 if they have to.
Some of those 2-yard runs are the ones that set up the 15-yard runs that give you those averages. And the offensive lineman can actually understand, like, how am I working my leverage? And that's what they're trying to work with Abu Sama III on, number 24. When he comes in, it's all power and all speed on the outside.
Clean pocket. Becht over the middle. Burkle, the tight end. Oh, Jack Kelly spins him down. The former BMX biker with another exceptional play.
Yeah, you're going to see Jack Kelly right here. He always does a nice job of getting deep into coverage and then attacking downhill. And he talked about working on his open field tackling this offseason, making sure he broke down and didn't cross his feet over. Right there, that's teach tape for how to make a great tackle in the open field.
He's a great pass rusher, but they do want to have him in pass coverage as well for plays like that. So you have to figure out every play how to use him if you're Jay Hill. 3rd down for his defense. Becht, oh, soft spot right in the middle of the defense at the 45 for Burkle again on Kelly. It's a gain of 9 and a first down.
Man, those over the ball throws, sneaky good plays. They get Burkle on another triple release by the bunch receivers there. He just gets to his spot, understands when he's open. That's an undervalued quality for pass catchers. It's not just about catching the ball, it's also knowing when you are open. And he got his eyes back to the quarterback and made it an easy play.
Doesn't every receiver think he's always open?
Exactly, and that's exactly what I'm getting at.
Sama back in. Looking for a big play. He's got it. Sama, a little hurdle to the 40-yard line. The ball came out. He is down. It's a gain of 14. We almost got that long jump technique that you were talking to him about yesterday.
Yeah, he is a state champion long jumper, and you're going to just see this guy gets all the way to the outside. Number 70, Trevor Bohr. He ends up blocking Jack Kelly, which springs Abu Sama. And I don't just mean springs him for that long jump right there, but springs him into the open field. And I just love the fact that this guy did track and field, state champion long jumper, and there's so many qualities of a long jumper that also attribute themselves to being a great football player, and we'll talk about that after this play.
You saw the runway there. That's a direct snap. It is Hansen on the run. Oh, that's nifty. How about that?
That's the second direct snap that they've done directly to Hansen. Just the timing that you have to have for a running back, knowing, hey, this snap looks like it's coming to the QB, but it's actually coming to me. And they're running Rocco Becht on a little wide zone.
How about Boniface, though? You have to put that in the perfect spot as a center, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the center, I'm saying, hey, guys, I'm snapping this thing straight. Whoever catches it is on you guys.
I think he's a little more precise than that. Hey, somebody grab it. He's a great basketball player growing up. Boniface was, by the way. He was a center.
Timeout. Iowa State.
Timeout. Iowa State. Well done by the big guy. Back in 30 seconds. You were talking about that direct snap on the air like you had run it before. Have you run that before?
Yes, we have. My center in college named Philip Blake. He was a Canadian. And what we used to do is instead of direct snapping it to the back, anytime we had a sprint out, he would snap the ball out in front of me to the right or to the left. One of the most unique things I've ever done in my career. Shout out to Philip Blake and also to Jim Boniface for working those snaps the way they need to be worked.
Did you catch it in motion then?
I catched it in motion.
Wow.
Yeah, catched it. I caught it in motion. What am I talking about?
Who needs grammar when you have that kind of athleticism? It's a first down for Hansen and Iowa State. Satuala and Latui combined on the tackle.
I got nothing for you. That was terrible grammar, but great pickup right there.
I catched what you said.
It's there's so many things that these big offensive linemen do that go underappreciated. So I do want to say I'm going to apologize to the big fella. I know he did that on purpose. He snapped it to the back on purpose, and they're working on that.
I know what you were saying. I get it. It's a first down for Iowa State. There's Bramer in motion, the tight end. Satuala goes with him, and it's a run. It's Hansen, and he is going to fall forward for 2.5, maybe 3 after contact.
Now, you just mentioned that. You saw the motion outside from Benjamin Bramer, and Satuala, number 11, the safety for BYU, goes with him. They're going to try to attack that. If they get press man situations with a big red zone threat like Benjamin Bramer at every bit of 6'7", look for them to take some shots here in the red zone.
They're 4 tight ends, and they snap off out of the formation. Townsend in there as well. 4 tight ends set. Rocco Beck goes to the only non-tight end in the pattern. It's Townsend right at the line to gain.
This is a nice choice route by Xavier Townsend. He's right here. He can go in. He can break out. He can sit it down versus zone. He sees that no one's inside. I'm going to go get that first down and get my shoulders down. Nice job by the quarterback and the receiver being on the same page.
They're going to mark him a little bit short here. It looked like, based on where the ball was, that they could give him the line to gain, but they are going to say he's short. Now they're going to look at it, I think. Every play is reviewed upstairs. Some are stopped to take a further look.
The runner was short of the line to gain. The previous play is under review.
Yeah, this is close enough to do that, certainly, in the command center down in Texas.
For sure. To the naked eye, it looked like he had gotten the first. You see that yellow line as he's coming through. Let's see. Yeah. That looks like a first down.
Remember, the yellow line is imprecise sometimes.
Correct.
It's not exactly like dispositive. It's not decisive, but it's usually right where the line to gain is. Mike Pereira is watching. We got to you very early in the game, Mike. It's been a while. What do you see here?
Well, you know, the first thing I look at is how accurate is the yellow line. And if you go back and look at the play, as we look at the beginning of the play in here, the yellow line is really short of the marker. And you'll watch it on the live shot. You don't see it on this one. And so I think while it looked like it was a first down with the yellow line, I'm not sure it is. I think it might be short.
Yeah, it's very close. You see where that orange tag is.
The ruling on the field of the runner being short of the line to gain is upheld. It'll be third down.
It's a great job by you, Mike. He was right on the yellow line, but again, the yellow line is not always exact. The NFL obviously has the Hawkeye technology, and they are using that to make more precise spots. But you see the marker there, it's a little bit ahead of the full yard line.
Yeah.
But Iowa State has lived in third and short. BYU has had third and Ankeny for most of the day.
Which you look at BYU having those 13 yards to go on third down and only being down 7. It almost feels like a miracle. But here, look at all these guys on the line of scrimmage for BYU.
Short toss. Hansen to the outside. He turns it upfield. He wants to score, and Tanner Wall puts up the blockade. It is first and goal for Iowa State. They love that toss play.
Got to show love to the big fellas up front. You're talking about Dylan Barrett pulling outside. You get Carson, he reads it one gap at a time, and then sometimes you do have to bounce it. And they are picking on Satuala right now, the safety number 11. He's got to show that he can make plays like he did last week in the Holy War against Utah.
4 tight ends again in here. That's a matchup nightmare for guys like Satuala and that entire secondary. And we get the 2-minute timeout here in Ames. Boy, what interesting strategy and tactics personnel-wise all game long, and a huge one in the Big 12 race in late October. Talk about living rent-free in somebody's head. Iowa State's living rent-free in BYU territory today.
Yeah, just having this defense on the field for this long, having more plays, almost more plays in BYU's territory than BYU has plays on offense.
First and goal, they go right back to Hansen again, directly to him, to the goal line. Let's see. Touchdown, his second. Straight there. Boniface has hit a couple of bullseyes with these snaps.
Yes, he has. And Carson Hansen doing what Carson Hansen does best, which is run downhill behind his shoulder pads. We'll show you that touchdown run right after this.
Most popular man in Ames first, Kyle Conrarty, back from injury. I mean, Matt Campbell's offensive coordinator, Taylor Mauser, was taking some kicks in practice because they were so low on kickers. And it just frees up so much for this offense, right? You now feel like you have points when you're in the 40-yard range rather than having to go for it and all the stress that comes with that for a quarterback and an offense.
Yeah, you just feel like you have guaranteed points once you get to a certain point. And just seeing points go on the board as 3 makes your offense feel good about themselves, knowing that they have positive momentum rolling.
Conrarty got it. Back to the touchdown. Boniface to Hansen.
Yeah, you're just talking about Carson Hansen getting downhill. You talk about the center and the guard double teaming here to move. Big people movers. Hansen running so hard, he knocked his own guy down on his way to the end zone. Left tackle James Neal III. But Jim Boniface, as my man Jason Benetti pointed out so eloquently, is doing an amazing job with these direct snaps right to the running back. That's 3 so far that I've counted, and they've all been impactful plays.
Dubuque's finest. Bullseye after bullseye. Boniface to Hansen, who's been such a touchdown maker for this Iowa State program. Remember, they were 5-0. They were rolling out of the gate. They win in Dublin. They won Cy-Hawk this year in another low-scoring game. And then they ran into some trouble with Cincinnati and Colorado. But Iowa State is very much still in this race in the Big 12.
Yeah, you know, there were some people out there that thought that they weren't very good because once they got into the thick of Big 12 play, they were struggling to finish those games. But nothing like a bye week to reassess, self-scout, and figure out what can we do best. And they're putting their best players on the field, and it's those 4 tight ends.
Hagan on the return, goes left. Hagan's got some room. And he's out of bounds just short of the 40-yard line as we check in with Mike Hill to see what's coming up on the State Farm Halftime Show. Mike?
Coming up on the State Farm Halftime Show, Alabama finally gets an unranked but still tough opponent. Texas Tech tries to get back on track again without its quarterback Behren Morton. And could number 2 Indiana actually be the best team in the country? Jason and RG3, they have looked very good. See you back.
Oh, the postmarks from Columbus are coming Mike's way soon.
Yes, they are. They're coming my way, too, because I've been saying it for weeks. Indiana's the best team in the country.
Wow. Bachmeier on the roll. He'll drop it off. Navahine, who's in part because of the injury to L.J. Martin. He is taken to the sideline by Neal. 1 timeout for BYU. They do get it out of halftime here.
Yeah, and if you're BYU, we've talked about it ad nauseum thus far. Without L.J. Martin in the game, you got to find ways to utilize your screen game, even against this 3-3-5 defensive Iowa State that makes it difficult, so you can supplement the runs that you were getting from L.J. Martin and still get the ball out of Bayer Bachmeier's hands quickly.
Only 10 throws so far for Bachmeier. He's 6 for 10. That's a long pass. It's Navahine, and he's hit by Patton again. He's had a nice day tackling. 3rd down coming up, and now Iowa State, if you get a stop, you can think about a 2-minute drive for Rocco Becht, who's very good at it.
Yes, you do, and right there, that was essentially a screen. It's a long handoff, an extension of the passing game, allowing Bear to look down the field, come down to his check down, and they're going to have to make this Iowa State defense run sideline to sideline with some of these horizontal plays to tire them out, but also so that when they do take the shots down the field, they have those one-on-ones that they're looking for.
Bear's brother Tiger Bachmeier is in the slot on the left. Now he's alone over there with the motion from Roberts. Bear on the roll. He throws this way. He's got Kingston and a huge BYU first down. A gain of 15.
You got Parker Kingston down here all by himself running what is essentially a comeback route. Boom, boom. Brums right into his, turns inside on that, which is a beautiful addition to that route. And Bear rolling to his right, makes a nice, easy throw. Really impressed with what offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick is doing on this drive without his star running back, but getting his quarterback comfortable.
Trying to stay the course here. Bachmeier throwing this way for his brother, and he's got it for Tiger Bachmeier to the 21. They grew up doing it. That's a gain of 17.
This same exact route here that Parker Kingston ran, and Bear is showing you that he can make those throws on the run and from the pocket. We got Tigers and Bears out here in Ames, Iowa. This is an interesting one as we get close to the end of the first half.
Bear Bachmeier running behind Ryan and his brother Tiger, who's now pushing him. Somebody please call animal control. He's to the 14.
Animal control is certainly looking for Bear Bachmeier right now. You see Carson Ryan get out there in front of him. Nice read. He's going to finish with his shoulders going forward. The way he runs is unique, but they need every yard they can get from this young man today.
This is a sprint and a throw, and it got deflected. So it'll be 3rd down. He wanted Kingston on the sprint out there. So 3rd down on the way. Caleb Bacon got the hand in. The former walk-on at Iowa State with the play. And he, after that injury last year, has helped solidify this defense this year. 3rd and 2.
And this is a situation for offensive coordinator for BYU, Aaron Roderick. It's 3rd and 2. Is it 4-down territory for you? If it is, you should continue to look to run Bear down the middle. He's been very effective going north and south in these situations.
He'll throw. It's Carson Ryan, and he lost the football. It's incomplete. The big hit on the edge. Quentin Taylor dislodged the football. And here is that 4th down decision you're talking about, Robert.
Yeah, right here, Quentin Taylor comes in. When you get a guy trying to catch the ball underneath and get vertical, put your hat on the ball. Don't even let him get control of it. Try to dislodge the man from the football. He does a nice job of that. And that's why I would have ran Bear on that last play. Because if you get stuffed, you're probably still going to fall forward, and maybe it's 4th and 1. Now you're here in a 4th and 2 situation.
And we get a timeout.
Iowa State.
It's Iowa State, but he pointed to BYU. It's like when somebody writes the word green in red pen, and they go, what color is that? I don't know. Our game summary sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Right out of the chute, Rocco Becht a touchdown. That kind of set the rules of engagement that BYU is going to play from behind today.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Matt Campbell wanted to happen. They want this BYU team to have to feel like they're gasping for breath as they attack them all over the field. And so far, I think BYU has done a nice job of weathering part of the storm. But whether or not they get this 4th and 2 will determine how they come out in the second half. Getting the ball out of halftime, 7 points here, gives them a chance to tie the game after the half.
Iowa State has been one of the best 4th down defenses in the country. Opponents are 5 for 15, and they talk about a 4th down mentality, locking in, knowing that 4th down is coming. Here we go. Bachmeier on 4th down. He's going to run. Bachmeier, a block from Navahine, and it's a 1st and goal for BYU inside the 10. Remember, last week, first half, they ran out of time on a drive just like this at home in Provo. They spike it here, 29 seconds to go, 1 timeout. It's unlikely they'll run out of time, but that was more urgency than we saw last week, and back to the play.
And here, I think the mistake by Iowa State is not blitzing off the edge like they have been doing the entire game, because now they allow BYU to get the edge. Bear Bachmeier knows in this situation, if I can run and get that first, I'm going to take it. That is not a design quarterback run. That is what you call a quarterback taking the game into his own hands and saying, we're getting this.
Family very tense. And that was gummed up. We have a marker coming in. It's going to be a false start.
It's a false start on Chase Roberts, the receiver on the outside.
False start. Offense number 2. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
They've had a handful of procedure penalties specifically on this spot on the field.
Yeah, and this spot on the field is literally where the student section is, where they were worried about coming into this game knowing how loud they can be. But the reason Chase Roberts also false started there is because he knew he had a one-on-one against Trey Bell. And now Trey Bell smartly backs off in coverage.
Yeah, he's up top. Bachmeier looks off that matchup. Back of the end zone, touchdown Kingston. BYU always has a counterpunch.
Great execution there by Bear Bachmeier. We talked about it. You score a touchdown here, get the ball after halftime, have an opportunity to go back and tie the game coming out of the half. I mean, that's a best case situation for the BYU Cougars.
Extra point is good. Back to the touchdown.
Now I want you guys to watch. They're going to run a flat route by Carson Ryan, and Parker Kingston is going to get over the top and run a middle of the field route. Bear Bachmeier takes his eyes to the top, brings them back, and unleashes the dragon right over the top of the linebackers. That 2-ball, Parker Kingston is amazing at finding the holes in the defense, especially versus zone. And right there, he allows BYU and this offensive coaching staff, as you see the excitement, that they know, all right, we're in this thing. Our guys are responding.
Parker Kingston with a touchdown. We were talking to him yesterday. He was like, I was a tall guy for a while growing up. And then suddenly everybody got taller than me. I grew early, everybody caught up to me, but it leads to a wide receiver who has the ability to play big, but also know what he has to do in a crafty way against his own defense, and it pays off there for BYU in an 80-second drive. You saw Bear Bachmeier with a touchdown. His parents, April and Michael, here in Ames today. Alexa?
Yeah, you guys mentioned Bear and Tiger out there on the field together. I caught up with Mama Bachmeier before the game. She said she learned from her older son she doesn't want to miss a moment of the action because it goes by so quick. So she made it a point she's going to be at every game. She also told me about that same hallway that Bear told us about. So much about who he is and his personality came from playing with his 4 siblings in their hallway. She said they grew up in 2.5 acres. Can they play outside? No, they just wanted to play in my hallway, make holes in the wall, and JB, she finally fixed them now that they're older and out of the house.
Well, yeah, you don't want to have to keep dumping money into that. They're not going to stop fighting. They're brothers who are all athletic.
Exactly. House of chaos.
Yeah. And this is going to be probably the end of the half. It's a hit by Anisi Purcell. So Iowa State had everything going for them. Leading by 14. Now suddenly BYU gets the ball at a halftime. And they're going to go into the locker room trailing by 7.
And it all stems from the interception from Rocco Beck when they were going in to make this game 24-10. And he throws an interception right to Logan Latui. So now you got BYU with all the momentum, and the response from Iowa State coming out of halftime will determine how this game goes.
Into the studio, Mike, Chris, Bruce, State Farm Halftime Show coming up.
Yeah, Iowa State a half away from knocking BYU from the ranks of the unbeaten, but it's a close game, 24-17 at the half. As we welcome you to the State Farm Halftime Show, that is Chris Peterson, Bruce Feldman, Mike Hill hanging out with you. BYU has got one of the best defenses in the nation, but they've already given up more points and yards in any half this season as we take a look at the State Farm halftime highlights, because Iowa State's offense, including Rocco Beck, has been very efficient, Coach.
Yeah, he has. It looked like Matt Campbell and company used this bye week very efficiently on offense. They came out, scored on 4 or 5 of their drives to really get it going. And RG3 said it best. I mean, this thing was looking like it was going to be a runaway. And then the only mistake that Iowa State made, Rocco Beck, was that bad interception. And credit to BYU. I mean, they fight back. They got a heart of a champion. You know they're not going to go away easily. Somebody that's undefeated at this point, they're going to fight. Yeah.
What's super impressive is Bear Bachmeier, the quarterback, true freshman. No L.J. Martin today, terrific running back. 10-play drive to go close it out basically in the half. I mean, we know he can run, and he's going to have to probably carry the ball a lot more in the second half. But the receivers exploiting pretty much a banged-up ISU secondary. We'll see how this goes in the second half.
Yeah, Martin, the Big 12's leading rusher, out with apparent shoulder injury right now. That was a big drive right before the half of BYU. They get the ball to start the second half. Second half coming up momentarily here. Meanwhile, Texas Tech's perfect season came to an end last week without quarterback Behren Morton. Red Raiders without him again today, hoping for better results against Oklahoma State. See Will Hammond getting the start once again. And Hammond looking a little bit better than he did last week. Jacoby Williams.
You hate to see Morton out, but Will Hammond's getting such valuable experience playing in these games.
Yeah, he looked so good against Utah earlier this season, and Texas Tech up 21-0 in that one. Baylor, Cincinnati, one of those teams in the Big 12 is a big surprise, undefeated in conference play. Tyree Walker getting in.
Don't count them out. They may be playing for the championship as well.
And then it's Evan Pryor. 17-0. Bearcats rolling over Baylor there. The Crimson Tide finally get a break from top 20 play, taking on a tough South Carolina team, though. Lenore Sellers and the offense really hurt themselves all day.
Man, that's a gift for the Tide right there.
Sean Jones in, Sellers getting inside Alabama territory. South Carolina was in Alabama territory all day long. Ty Simpson finally got his team in South Carolina territory, and it paid off. Josh Cuevas right there, 3-yard touchdown. Bama with a 14-6 lead. First ranked matchup between Missouri and Vanderbilt ever. Diego Pavia having a Heisman Trophy type season to Trey Richardson.
That's a Heisman Trophy throw right there as well.
That led to a Commodore's field goal right there, and we got a tight battle down in Nashville, tied at 3. Number 22, Texas, Mississippi State, Arch Manning had got injured early in the game, came back in, and, well, this gets into the end zone right there. Tying the game at 7, but Blake Shapen and the boys come right back. Sam West going north to south. Tying the game at 7. Then moments ago, Manning to his guy Parker Livingston.
Yeah, that's
been a combination.
That's when Archie's at his best, getting outside of that pocket and finding guys.
All right, Texas up right now 14-7 in the second quarter. Indiana's on a mission, y'all. Just Google what they've done under Kurt Cignetti. And today that mission continued in Bloomington against UCLA. Highlights from the second-ranked Hoosiers' pursuit of an 8-0 start. Coming up, are they the best team in all of college football? Well, Ole Miss dropped its first game of the season last week at Georgia, but today they bounced back nicely in the top 25 matchup at Oklahoma. Highlights coming up.
Welcome back to the State Farm Fox College Football Halftime Show. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't forget tonight, Game 2 of the World Series with the Blue Jays up 1-0 on the Dodgers. Bo Bichette not in the starting lineup after finally returning from a knee injury in time for Game 1. Coverage begins at the BYU Iowa State at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Toronto looking good right now, y'all. Ole Miss, Oklahoma. Ole Miss trying to bounce back after that loss against Georgia. Xavier Robinson had other ideas, putting his team on top right there, 26-25. But Trinidad Chambliss has been a good story for Ole Miss this year.
He's been a great story. For Division II transfer, wasn't expected to starter, steps in when Austin Simmons gets hurt, and he fits this offense and makes a ton of plays.
And helped them win their first road game over a ranked SEC opponent in 8 years. UCLA hadn't won 3 in a row, but today was back to life, back to reality.
Yes, it was.
Second play of the game, Nico Iamaleava picked off by Aiden Fisher to pick 6. Indiana up 7-0 and would be all Hoosiers. Fernando Mendoza doing it himself, making it happen. Hoosiers win again 50-66 with more from Bloomington. Here's Rob Stone and the Big Noon Kickoff crew.
Curt Cignetti improves to 14-0 all-time at home as head coach of Indiana. They get a comfortable win over UCLA. Coach, the Hoosier team you saw today, do they have the ability, do they have what it takes to win a national title?
Stop. We're talking about the losingest program in college football history, a team that when I coached here, there was no one here when I was with the Buckeyes. Absolutely they can, because it's the year of parity.
Yep.
This is a methodical team.
Yep.
Offense, defense, kicking game. They do everything right. One of the best coached teams I've seen in recent history.
They did what championship teams are supposed to do today. They had a hottest team in the country, one of them. They won by 50 points, so they handled business. The depth is a concern. They got banged up a little bit in this game. Do they have the depth to make a run? I think we'll find out soon.
To me, I feel like Curt Cignetti built this team from the inside out. They're tough on both line of scrimmages. They ran the football effectively and defensively. They put pressure on the quarterback. They got tackles for loss. I think this team is built for it. They just got to be able to win when the games matter the most.
Yeah, and look, they've got a quarterback who's playing as good as anyone in the country right now in Fernando Mendoza, legit Heisman candidate. It's going to take some good games from him down the stretch, in particular in the Big Ten championship game, assuming they make it there. But this team has all the pieces. They have a little bit of luck to go along with it as well.
Their fourth game of scoring at least 56 points on the season. Of their 4 remaining games, 3 of them are on the road. Coach Cignetti and company at Maryland next week, and then at Penn State, but another W for the number 2 ranked team in the nation.
Indiana may be the team to beat the nation, but is Georgia Tech the team to beat in the ACC?
I think so. And that guy right there, Haynes King, dual threat guy, super tough. They execute and they play in a way that reflects the toughness of their head coach, Brent Key, the old O-line coach.
Speaking of King, 7 straight games with a rushing touchdown. King getting it done. Georgia Tech 8-0 for the first time since 1966. Undefeated Ohio State is off this week, and when the Buckeyes return to the field, they only have 1 ranked team remaining on their schedule. But who ultimately possesses the biggest threat to the reigning champs? We'll talk about it. And Brett Eskelsen making a 75-yard TD catch right here. Iowa State rolling early. BYU making it close to 7-point game at the half.
Welcome back to the State Farm Fox College Football Halftime Show. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
North Carolina's got to win one FBS game this year, right?
Sooner or later.
Almost had a big upset over number 16 Virginia in overtime. Jamari Taylor gave Virginia the lead, but Gio Lopez and the boys coming back right here in overtime, scoring. Davion Goss, but we're going to go for 2. Let's go for the win in the first overtime. Let's do it. Let me show you how close they were.
This is a good call. If they make it, it's a great call.
If he stretches his arm out just a little, just stretch it out. Come on, Benjamin, just stretch. Right there. If he...
You got to hold it. That's the one time you got to hold the ball out like that to get it over the line.
Virginia goes on for the win. Next Saturday, Big Noon Kickoff heads to Columbus. Number 1 Ohio State hosting Penn State and all their issues. Coverage begins at 10 a.m. Eastern, leading up to game time at noon only on Fox. Buckeyes are off this week. Of course, Penn State shouldn't be much of a problem with them with everything they got going on right now. But give me the biggest threat to Ohio State this season, remainder of the way.
I really think, Mike, it is that last regular season game. It's Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's the obvious one. They haven't beaten them in a long time. It's like 1,000+ days.
4 in a row.
You look at this team at Michigan right now. Their offense with Bryce Underwood getting better before our eyes. They have some really good young skill talent. The receivers are much better. Last year, they beat them in Columbus without an offense at all. Now they actually have a little bit of an offense. I don't think they're as good as they are in defense because they lost 2 first-round defensive tackles. But again, this whole thing is in Ohio State's head. And until they can beat them, I think that's the one you got to say.
You might be right, but I am not seeing that. There's no way that the Buckeyes lose to Michigan again. And the reason I say that is I love how Ohio State's playing right now. I think they're playing loose, fast, and free. I think the expectations weren't as great. It looks like Ryan Day and the staff are doing a way better job just letting them go. And so as long as they don't shackle them with these big expectations going into that, I think the game that they're going to worry about is Indiana playing them in the championship game, the Big 12 championship game. That's going to be their biggest threat. And maybe more of a bigger threat than that is it may be the Oregon Ducks in the playoffs. Because the Oregon getting rolled in the Rose Bowl by Ohio State, they're going to have a burr under their saddle about that. And then losing at home to Indiana, they're going to have a burr under the saddle about that. So the Ducks losing, I think, helps them, and they'll be coming after both these teams sooner or later.
Crazy thing, before they get to the Big Ten championship game, they got to beat Michigan. Michigan could knock them out of the Big Ten championship game. L.J. Martin knocked out of this game, but he found the end zone right before he left. His team down 7, second half coming up.
Yards for a touchdown is most of the difference for Iowa State in favor in this game, up by 7. But Robert Griffin III, every time you count BYU out in one of these games this year, they just bounce right back.
Yeah, they've always found a way to claw their way back into a football game. And you would honestly, looking at that first half, think that they would be down by 20 going into halftime. But they're not. And it's all because of just the way the game flowed. It started with fireworks. Rocco Beck throwing the touchdown deep down the field to Eskelson, who really hasn't had much of an opportunity to make plays since that point. Maybe we see some of these wide receivers for Iowa State start to make plays for them here in the second half.
Oh boy, that is a tough way to start for Iowa State. A kick out of bounds as we check in with Alexa.
Well, I caught up with Coach Sitake coming out of the half, and he said if offensively we do what we did on that last drive of the half, we're going to be good the rest of the way. He said defensively, as Iowa State scored on 4 of their 5 possessions, we got to make some adjustments, and we have to get some stops. JB, I did ask him about the crowd noise causing some of those false starts. He said, we've been the beneficiary of a good home crowd, so we got to be able to play good on the road. And of course, without LJ Martin, that's a tough loss here for BYU offense.
Yeah, the difficulties are piling up. Alexa, thank you. That was the first penalty on Iowa State all game, but what a whale of a penalty, a kickoff out of bounds. So Preston Rex is the tailback, and they can run some jet sweep. This is Kingston getting hit right at the line of scrimmage by David Coffey. Here's what you see from BYU typically in the run game. Not today. Why? Other than Martin.
Other than Martin, it's because this 3-3-5 defense by John Haycock and Iowa State makes it very difficult for you as an offense to know where the person that is a support player is going to be. It could be any of the 3 safeties. So BYU losing their running back and now having to find ways to get yardage without him. I expect him to throw the football at least 25+ times the second half.
Bachmeier sets to throw. He'll spin it out wide, and that's incomplete for Rex right at his shoe tops. Third down very quickly for the Cougars, who were 3 for 7 with a bunch of long third downs in that first half.
You know what Bear Bachmeier could have done right there to avoid this being a 3rd and 10?
What's that?
He could have ran the football. He threw that out to his receiver and dirted it when he'd probably still be running, almost hitting his head on the goalpost right now if he had just kept going down the middle of the field.
Do you think it's the visual the defense is presenting him?
100%. When you have a clogged up defense in the middle, especially with all 6 of these guys all up at the line of scrimmage, I mean, that is a difficult visual for the quarterback.
They rushed 4, and they almost got there. Bachmeier off platform, got it downfield to Roberts, and a first down for Chase Roberts. What a throw.
Really good job of Bear Bachmeier here, just seeing the field. He didn't see it on the run, but he saw it on the throw. Right here, they left Chase Roberts on the outside. He just throws it to him. He's wide open. Maybe if he had thrown him deeper down the field, he'd still be running. But hey, after that dirt in that other ball, he'll take a completion for a first down.
Take what you can get against his defense. It is first down to the 38 already in Iowa State territory. Bachmeier scanning, looking and firing this way. That drops right in there for Kingston, who took a shot. He just had to sit there and wait. He could have waved for a fair catch. It's a gain of 20.
Yeah, and this is a very late developing play here. They're going to run double unders with a corner route by Parker Kingston, and he gets jammed up, so it throws off the timing. He's open early. He's also open late. Nice job of Bear Bachmeier delivering him a catchable ball right there on the sideline.
Marcus Neal turned into a missile with that hit. Now without L.J. Martin, we'll see how much they run it in the red zone. It's a freeze option down the middle, incomplete. He wanted Roberts. It was there. It's second down.
Oh, just a beautiful play call here by BYU coordinator Aaron Roderick. They know these safeties are going to be extremely aggressive. So the safety over here is going to come down on this speed option, and they're going to replace him right behind. Ball is a little bit behind Chase Roberts there as they got Jamison Patton, the safety for Iowa State, to vacate that hole. You want to see that ball be a little bit more in front of him if you're Bear Bachmeier.
It wobbled a little bit on the way out. Now Bachmeier short set this way to Roberts, right on target, in rhythm. It'll be third down and short for BYU.
I love them going right back to Chase there. Hey, you can make an argument that that's a drop, right? If the ball touches your hands, I'm a believer that you should catch that football. But you get off coverage on the next play, throw a nice little out route to him, let him know you still got trust and belief in him.
Aaron Roderick, you saw him in that offensive coordinator position up there in the box. He said, we like street fights. There's going to be another one. Let's see. 3rd and 3, what they do.
3rd and 3, you got one-on-one right down here at the bottom of your screen.
They're going to run it. It's Rex, and he's got a first down. It's 1st and goal for BYU, and there is the toughness showing up. They decide to run, which maybe signals, Robert, that they would have gone on 4th down.
Oh, 100%. You talk about Preston Rex, number 12, former safety, just moved over to the offensive side of the ball, hasn't had a ton of reps at running back, but he's a fast guy, and he's mostly the blocker and the guy that slips out into the flats for them. So for them to trust him there in that moment, maybe they can lean on some of these other running backs to get those traditional yardages that L.J. Martin was getting.
Going this way, he's got it to Roberts, who was down there with Kingston, and they'll chip away for a couple yards. They're picking on the freshman Coffey again, and it's 2nd down and goal. Kingston, a little pick there.
A pick? I don't know. It's behind the line of scrimmage, so
no, I'm not saying it was illegal. I'm just saying he was involved in the play.
The little big guy out there getting some blocks.
That's
huh?
right. 2nd and goal. It's Rex, and they had him going horizontally immediately. Cooper Ebel with the stop. It's 3rd and goal.
Yeah, you talk about Cooper Ebel. Oh, my goodness. Talk about attacking downhill. They want to show this BYU offensive line and this running back group without their star that they can't run the football. They don't want them to have that level of confidence. Again, I'll say it. Quarterback run here. This is where Bear Bachmeier has made a name for himself. Leads the Big 12, all quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns with 8.
Well, they bring pressure from the side. Roberts is on. He's down at the bottom. Bachmeier, end zone, incomplete. He wanted Kingston. It is 4th down. Man, what a play on the back end there by Patterson at Iowa State.
So it's a traditional high-low concept, and they get the underneath defenders out of the way, create the hole. Patterson, really nice job of playing through the football and making sure that Parker Kingston doesn't have a chance to come at a negative angle to make that catch.
The freshman from Jacksonville, Patterson with the play. 4th down. It's kick time for Farron. They will take the 3. Iowa State down a bunch of corners, but Josh Patterson comes in and makes a really strong effort in the back of the end zone. Bear Bachmeier wanted more.
What did I miss? What did I miss?
Fox College football is sponsored by Progressive. Progressive is helping veterans drive their lives forward with its Keys to Progress program. Tailgate scene thriving in Ames. It's a 4-point game. BYU playing without third-year linebacker Siale Acera, who really had started to come into his own. 31 tackles coming in, a legacy name at BYU. Max Alford has replaced him and kind of settled into this game, but that's a big loss on the defensive side.
Yeah, especially here in the middle of the year. It's a battle of attrition. Guys are going to have that next man up mentality and go out there and produce for their teams to be able to win.
In a rugged Big 12 that is so topsy-turvy, Flora will let it go. It's a touchback, and Iowa State extremely efficient in the first half offensively.
Yes, they were. Rocco Beck noticed the corner blitz. Hey, the safety normally comes down on that, but today, no, he wasn't ready for the deep shot over the top by Brett Eskelson. But then Rocco made the single mistake in the second quarter, throwing this interception. And then they got it back in blood with Carson Hansen getting back down to ensure that they continue to stay in the lead. And they're playing from in front. Don't have BYU quite as far behind as they would like them to be, but they have to find a way to get the momentum back on their side, utilizing all these different tight end sets.
So the tight end Bramer in motion there. Here comes pressure again. Down he goes. It's Pouha who gets in there. That's his first sack this year for Viliami Pouha.
Viliami Pouha, you're going to see him right here off the edge of the defense. Gets inside. Those inside moves, man, give you a direct line of attack to the quarterback. Inside out, a lot of times it's hard for them to spin out of those. Nice job right there. BYU getting that sack.
That's a fourth-year Iowa State tackle. Neal getting beat that time. Here's a screen. Drop it to Burkle, the tight end, in wide open space. Boy, that screen game for Iowa State, you don't see it a ton, but they use it there for 10.
Yeah, and if you're going to have all these different tight end sets, you got to use them stretching the field, underneath, and also in the screen game right there. Gabe Burkle does a nice job getting vertical, showing protection, and then going. Now we've got 3rd and 9. And this is the one thing with Iowa State, when you do get far behind the sticks, what receiver do you trust to make a play for you? Look for him to look for his guy, Brett Eskelson.
Beck sees the pressure. Pouha couldn't get him, and he is out of bounds. He was pushed to the sideline to set up a 4th down. Nice play defensively by Taumoi Peau.
And, you know, you're going to watch the coverage here, and we call these coverage sacks. It's not necessarily a sack because he didn't get tackled behind the line of scrimmage. But when we talk to the safety, number 28 that you see on your screen, Tanner Wall, he said this is what makes him feel good, is when they can get into these extreme coverage situations and the quarterback has nowhere to go with the ball. It lets him know that his preparation is top-notch, and right there, they're ready.
Yeah, when you ask a defensive back, what do you like on a football field other than intercepting a pass? And his answer is coverage sack. You're like, oh, not really heard that before. That's a good punt that bounces all the way to the 21. It's a 48-yard punt with no return, and that's where BYU will have it when we come back trying to take the lead.
We just felt the confidence in our quarterback and Bear, and that run at the end was phenomenal.
There's a bear on the loose in Provo. Bachmeier.
Love the physical way he plays, and he's a tough kid.
He looks even more comfortable and confident each and every week. He's making some great throws, great runs, so it's been awesome to watch the offense.
Bear Bachmeier, who immediately had the respect of his teammates when he got here in June, has the controls of the offense. His first throw is a catch. It is Roberts again, changing direction, big play man, Chase Roberts. He's been so good for them on first down this year. He's got 21.
Yeah, he does. And you're just going to see them once again doing all these releases, and Chase Roberts is going to come sit down and hook up right in the middle off of a choice route. Boom. Get vertical and then go get those yards after the catch. One thing that BYU told us is that Iowa State's defense loves to hit guys hard, but they don't wrap up.
Yeah.
Right there, they didn't wrap up, and Chase Roberts got loose.
BYU talks about taking a couple shots per quarter. We've seen it on tape. See what they have in mind here. Bachmeier on the roll. His eyes downfield. He'll throw it, and it's incomplete for Kingston. Second down for BYU. A little bit behind him there.
Yeah, this is a phenomenal job in the scramble drill of finding a way to get into an open hole. You see Bear's eyes scanning the field, and he makes this throw. And if you're Parker Kingston, you gotta find a way to settle in a little bit, because I know that ball looks like it's behind him, and it is.
Yep.
But he's trying to protect his receiver from the guy that's coming from the inside out to smack him in the face.
So it's a trade-off, you're saying, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a receiver, you have to feel that, shut it down a little bit so you can make a catch right in the right hole.
It's a run for Rex behind Carson Ryan, who's been so good in the pass game the past couple weeks, but he came here 20 in white as a blocker for BYU.
Yeah, and we talked to head coach Kalani Sitake, and he said he's showing that he can be a complete tight end. If they're going to find a way to win this game, they do have to get him a little bit more involved inside of the passing game, because I know those big fellas up front, they think he's an extension of the run game, but for tight ends, they want to be a part of the run and catching passes.
They bring a second tight end in here, Kean Need, and it's power with Bachmeier. There is Bear Bachmeier leaning forward. He's very close to the line to gain. He had to get square to the 48. It looks like he did. We'll check the spot. Dominique Orange went low on him to try and stop him from getting that line to gain. Oh, it's fourth down. It was very, very close, and this invariably will be reviewed. It looks like a pretty good spot, though.
Yeah, looked like he got knocked sideways, so instead of being able to fall forward, he ended up falling to his side.
They're going to stop it.
The previous play is under replay review.
So what do you think here, Robert? What do you think? On that first look, it's pretty close.
It's pretty close. You're going to see, like we talked about, that yellow line is unofficial. But as he comes through and he gets hit right here, he turns sideways, elbows down, balls behind that line to gain of the yellow line. I think it's a good spot, Jason.
It looks like it, certainly. The question is, when is the wrist down? That doesn't matter. But when does the elbow come along with it?
Wrist.
So there's your wrist.
Elbow, ball's in the same spot.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's behind. The marker is up at the top where the referee was, but the ball looks like it's behind. That looks like a good spot.
It's tough to see the yard line there, but they will be able to match the time code of the two shots and pair them together to check and see where the spot should be.
After this, the real question is, what does BYU do? Do they go for it? And I think there's no question there.
Yeah, especially when your head coach, the guy who said to us in the meeting last week, you know that guy who in Madden calls punt block as a defense just to see if it'll work? Like, he's like, I have to talk myself out of things sometimes. This is very likely a go for it, considering that as the backdrop, right?
No, 1,000%. If this is short, it's short by a couple centimeters. You put your big quarterback under center, your quarterback sneak it and get the
Ruling
first.
on the field of the runner being short of the line to gain is upheld. It'll be fourth down.
Yep, there it is. So this is a BYU team that's top 40 in the country coming into today at not allowing the defense to push them back. No gain, negative gain. They typically avoid that. Iowa State trying to hold the line.
Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. Do not get in the shotgun. Be under center. Get vertical immediately. And convert this if you're BYU.
We saw the Minnesota Vikings last week with a very inventive way to stop the tush push. Not a whole lot of yardage you have to get here. It's about a quarter of a yard. They'll run up to the line. Bachmeier picking his way and pushed by Navahine for a first down.
It did exactly what we talked about. Bear's going to trickle this way and then get vertical, and Navahine, number 21, is going to come and push him in the back to get him across that first down line. Kind of gets his head bent back a little bit weirdly. You see, I can tell you, being at the bottom of some of those piles on these quarterback sneaks, it is not fun.
Well, you got Lapuaho who ended up facing the wrong way. You know he doesn't like that. First down, BYU. Kingston in motion. Bachmeier scanning, loading up. He'll run. Bachmeier straight down the middle of the field. Bear, Bachmeier holding on, clasping those hands and getting bumped out of bounds by Coffee. It's a gain of 14.
And they were trying to take this shot deep down the field to the motion man right here, Parker Kingston. And as he's not there, Bear steps up in the pocket. And then, as I said earlier, he's decisive as a runner. He gets vertical. He tries to make moves. He protects the football. First down. Really nice job right there of Bear Bachmeier as he gets pushed into the sideline. And look at Coach Matt Campbell right there. What a guy. Doesn't matter if you're competing or not. It doesn't change how you treat people. He picks him up on the sideline.
That's right.
You love to see that.
Yeah, the golden rule. First down. Bachmeier rolling to the right. He throws to the right, down the field, incomplete for Kingston. Patton with some contact that looked like it was right on time.
Yeah, he looked like he got there right on time. Parker Kingston's going to run a corner route. It's like a sail route from a cut split. Boom. Get vertical, stick the safety, get outside. And there's Patton right there. They get there kind of at the same time, and his eyes are on the football. So I think that is what gives him the benefit of the doubt right there. Good finish as well. Sometimes the defense is just better than the offense.
That's a good play by Patton. Empty for Bachmeier. Short set, throw it this way. His brother Tiger has a catch to set up a 3rd and short. And Tiger paid for it. He got a face full of coffee there. I think it was scalding. 3rd and 2.
Yeah, this Iowa State defense is pretty set on allowing Bear Bachmeier to throw the football underneath and then rally and tackle. But you can't lie, it's got to be pretty cool to be playing big level college football and get a chance to play pitch and catch with your brother.
Has to be, right?
No doubt. I didn't have any brothers, so I can't relate.
3rd down and 2. BYU about 50% on 3rd down. Bachmeier, first read wasn't there. Second one down the middle, and let's see. Tiger Bachmeier went low to go get it. Let's see what they say. It looked like it skimmed it.
Yeah, that ball hit the ground for sure. Boom.
Yeah.
He played it off pretty well. But that is definitely an incomplete pass.
Mom April watching over the game. 4th down and 2 coming up. They already took 3 once. Will they take 3 again? The answer is no.
You either got to go quarterback run or a movement pattern that gives Bear Bachmeier a run pass option here.
Quick throw. Roberts goes high to get it, and he got wrangled by Bell. A marker comes in as well. It's a first down if it stands, and it looks like it will.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 7. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
And right here, you're going to see Chase Roberts is going to run this play action slant off of the RPO, makes the catch, gets the face mask pulled, and is unfazed by it. Look at that. Oh, that's a neck injury for most people, but not for Chase Roberts. He must be doing his neck lifts the right way.
First down, it's a Bachmeier run. Straight ahead, Bear Bachmeier, touchdown again. BYU takes the lead.
There's that quarterback run in the red zone that I've been talking about all day long. They're going to pull both the backside guard and the backside tackle. Lapuahu comes around and boom, hits Caleb Bacon. And then there's just Bear Bachmeier. Never going to give up, always going to have two hands on the football, and finds his way in for another rushing touchdown.
Just when you think you can count BYU out, they've always got something. Bear Bachmeier, the freshman quarterback who doesn't think of himself as a freshman, hanging on for dear life, and mom loving life right now. Iowa State quarterback Rocco Beck threw an interception with 11:20 to go in the first half. Since then, BYU is plus 13 on the scoreboard. They just went 2 for 2 on 4th down on that drive. And you said it in Three's Keys early in this ball game. 4th downs have been very important to BYU.
Yeah, it's 4-down football. And if you're Rocco Beck, that's why a lot of coaches say the ball is the program. That interception totally turned the tide of this game.
So you take that interception plus the non-turnovers on 4th down, right? You lose 2 to 3 possessions over the course of a game. Could be a problem. BYU has the lead. Chase Roberts, make a play. They did. All right, time now for the Aflac trivia question. Get help with expenses health insurance uncover with Aflac. 1974, last time these two teams played in Ames, who were the head coaches is the question.
I know one was Lavelle Edwards.
That's a good one. Okay. That's right. While you're thinking it over, you know how many passes were completed?
7.
12 combined. 8 by quarterbacks. Earl Bruce, the other one.
Oh.
College football Hall of Famer as well. 12 passes completed, 4 by running backs, 8 by quarterbacks. What a fun day that was.
That's
for television coverage.
Very interesting game. Just like we got one here.
Yeah, we do. BYU at the top of the table in the Big 12, unbeaten across their season at 7-0. And Rocco Beck to the offense, trying to bounce back and find the lead again. Hansen straight up the zipper. Hansen might go. They track him down. It's Alexander inside the 15 down to the 10. That one for 65. Opening play of the day went for 75.
And just watch this offensive line gobble up all these guys in the middle, split the defense, and Carson Hansen, boom, makes the right cut, and it's downhill immediately. Woo! If he had a little more speed, he wouldn't have got run down. But that was a great run right there from the always reliable Carson Hansen.
$152 for his day. There's still a quarter plus to go. Braver in motion. He's a threat in the red zone. Now Burkle, the other tight end, in motion. It is Hansen, and he's going to lose a couple of yards. Hansen driven back by John Talmoy-Payal. It's 2nd down and goal for Iowa State.
I feel like a lot of times when you see a running back hit a good 50-yard run and they give it back to him on the next play, it's usually a negative play. Like get Abu Sama in there or another back so they can be fresh and continue to get downhill. And now you see Iowa State is going to an empty set. Might try to hit that option to Townsend once again right there in the slot.
Yeah, they threw it there last time. Beck doesn't have it this time. He's going to roll to the right. Now he's going to run. Rocco Beck tiptoes out of bounds. There is a marker down back at the 16, and BYU thinks it's holding against Iowa State.
Holding offense number 51. 10-yard penalty. We play 2nd down.
It's on Brendan Black, the guard.
Yeah, you're going to see Brendan Black right there in the middle. Got his hands in the chest of Tanuvasa. As soon as Tanuvasa tries to break free, he doesn't relinquish that grip, and that's always going to be a hold. That is exactly what the refs are looking for. When the quarterback breaks the pocket, you have to let that defensive end go or drive your feet downfield and go get a pancake block. One thing I want to point out on that last one is they had an opportunity to hit Gabe Burkle, the tight end, down the field in a one-on-one matchup against Jack Kelly, number 17, the linebacker. Look for them to try to isolate those again here in a little bit.
Burkle in to protect. Now he leaks out. Beck throws it down the field, end zone. That's going to be incomplete. Sowell tried to haul it in right at the end line, couldn't get the foot down. It's third down.
Oh, you're going to watch it right here. Sowell jumps so well out of bounds. Just couldn't get that foot back in. He's wide open. You could see that as Rocco Beck was breaking the pocket, they dropped that corner route. Man, you want to make sure you hit those when you got them, because those can change the game.
Yeah, how many opportunities will present themselves like that over the course of an afternoon in the Big 12? There's that formation again. They'll separate the tight ends from the formation. Now Sama back in the backfield. Ball's on the ground. Beck has to fall on it. And now this field goal is going to be about 42. This went backward with a hold and a snap that was a misfire.
And you're going to see the snap isn't that bad. But Rocco Beck, he gets his eyes up. He's looking to the formation to the left before he actually secures this catch. You want it to be a little bit better than that, but you could see his eyes come off the ball. At quarterback, I always believe that quarterbacks have the best hands on the team. I know I'm biased, but at the end of the day, you got to look it in, whether the quarterback or the wide receiver running down the middle.
So now Kyle Conrady for the tie late in the third quarter. Low snap. The kick is on the way, and it is good. Man, Tyler Perkins saved the day that time to level it at 27 through the leg of Conrady. What a hold. We're back at 30 seconds. Tyler Perkins, senior punter, that ball was on the ground, and at the last moment, he got it set to kick.
Talk about calm in the chaos right there. It's a chaotic moment.
Were you ever a holder?
I was a holder.
Really?
In high school I held, yes.
How about that? Were you good at it?
I think so.
Okay. Hagan on the return. He's got some space, some daylight, and a flag comes in. This is coming back. He got to the 40, and he was hit at the sideline. But this is on the way back. There was a hold on the edge of the wall there. It's a 32-yard return that'll be partially nullified.
Holding during the return. Receiving team number 18. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, you're going to see this holding call. I mean, there's a face mask right there that they missed on Iowa State.
We got a couple options.
There's a lot of going on right here.
Yeah, there were a few choices. Take your pick.
And now you have this BYU offense coming out once again. Bear Bachmeyer's put the team on his back, really put the team on his arm. They're trying to get the football to two guys, Chase Roberts, number 2, and Parker Kingston, number 11.
There's Kingston in motion. Bachmeyer's throwing for 268, and now Rex on the run, and he gets sideswiped. And down he goes. Cooper Ebel was in the way. He didn't make the stop, but he slowed it down. And tomorrow on Fox, an NFC East rivalry. Jackson Dart leads the Giants against those Philadelphia Eagles on the comeback trail. Or Christian McCaffrey and the Niners take on the Texans and the entire Iowa State receiving corps from previous years. Check your local listing for the game in your area tomorrow on Fox. We mentioned Kingston in motion there. He was a high school teammate of Jackson Dart.
Yes.
And his memory of Jackson Dart is like the hilarity of Jackson Dart, the mannerisms, the fun-loving teammate, Carson Ryan. Oh, he lost his feet on the way, and Trey Bell took advantage of it. Ryan was about to slip anyway, and then Trey Bell spiked him home.
Yeah, you're going to see Carson Ryan's going low, trying to make a cut, and then boom, Trey Bell decides to baptize that man as he's going down to the ground.
Third and 5.
Now, so far on third down, Bachmeyer's go-to guy has been Parker Kingston right there in the slot.
Well, they're going to bring some heat. Bachmeyer gets rid of it. Oh, incomplete. Rex had a chance at it, but Tayshawn James flashed in front to gum up the pass.
And look where Tayshaun James came from. He's coming back from that safety spot, runs through Carson Ryan to get to Preston Rex and make that play on the ball. If he didn't have to run through the tight end there, he might have actually been able to catch that and run it back for a touchdown. And he's a guy that defensive coordinator John Haycock has been extremely proud of throughout the course of this season.
Would have been his first pick. Instead, it leads to a punt, and Flora will let it bounce. And BYU will let it roll. And now it hit a foot for Iowa State. Oh, my goodness. BYU football. Benny Nagoy got in the way of a bouncing football.
Oh, my gosh.
And it's BYU possession.
Right here, after you tell everybody, hey, I'm just going to let it roll, everyone should be screaming, Peter, Peter, to get away from the football. But Nagoy doesn't hear that and kicks the ball, and now BYU gets it back.
That is wild. I mean, it's the second straight week that BYU has recovered either a muffed punt or like a kicked punt this time. And Nagoy, who doesn't play a whole lot on defense but has on special teams, just got caught up in all of it.
And you see him there talking to Aiden Flora like, hey man, did you say, Peter, did you say get away from the football? He was sitting there blocking as if no one had told him anything.
That is outrageous. Now BYU has it on a first down. Bachmeier spins it out wide. It's Rex. And he gets stuffed right there by James again. I mean, everything's coming up Cougars this season. That is a turnover that you just never see. This was so close. Instead, Iowa State settled for a field goal, and here we are tied at 27 because of 47.
Coach, you mentioned finish to me at halftime. How can your guys finish here in the fourth quarter?
Well, our details got to just be a little bit better. Man, our kids are playing their tails off. Got a chance to get momentum back right here, and our details got to be great in the fourth quarter.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Coach.
So much.
The details flew out the window for a brief moment, and that could prove to be very costly for Iowa State on the punt that hit Benny Nagoy's foot on the way by. It was just going to get downed, and it just ran into his foot, got kicked. BYU recovered, and now a very short field for Bear Bachmeier and Kalani Sitake and this Cougars team. And Kalani told us yesterday, he goes, look, finding a way to win is great. It doesn't have to be our identity. And here he is in another close game. First down. Bachmeier this way for Roberts. He'll get half of it. Second down on the way.
And I love that play. It's keeping you ahead of the sticks. You're sitting here. It's a situation where now it's actually 3rd and 8. So that was a second down play call.
That was second down. It's third down coming up, 3rd and 6.
And I still love the play call because it still puts you in have a chance to make this 4-down territory once again, where if you get at least half here, you could see yourself going for it on 4th.
Bachmeier had to rush it to the end zone. Caught. Kingston is there. Parker Kingston, touchdown out of nowhere. Bear Bachmeier with pressure in his face uncorks a gem.
Now I want you guys to watch right here is Marcus Neal. He's going to pressure off the edge, and Parker Kingston is going to run a vertical route off of it, a slant and go type, and Bear Bachmeier puts it up there for his little big man to go make a play, and he makes it.
Parker Kingston, the former track star. You asked him about the 100-meter that he won in high school against some of his current BYU teammates. Bear Bachmeier just walked into the room at that moment. He goes, well, I didn't grow up in Utah. Meaning he'd have beaten Parker Kingston, but you know what? You got to get a break every once in a while. BYU got one. Kingston pays it off on the back end. It's a 7-point Cougar lead. Fox College football is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. And by Wendy's new Frosty flavors. 13-0 in 1984. 5 one-score wins for Robbie Bosco, Vi Sikahema, and company for the BYU Cougars. 5 one-score wins. Sound familiar? This team and that team, not all that dissimilar. They had a game right around this time against Air Force. It took a late field goal on the road in the snow to win, as this is a kickoff out of bounds, and details for both teams are getting a little hazy.
You talk about the competitive maturity, right? It's making the right plays at the right time. Right there, you see a kickoff out of bounds. Before that, there's the kicking of the football on the punt. And both of these teams have young players that they're asking to play more snaps than they're used to playing. But that guy right there you see on your screen, Rocco Beck, he lives for these types of moments. He is very clutch in fourth quarter games and knows how to just instill belief into his team. He has to get them back to feeling like they can win this game here on this drive.
He's at the 35 to open here. A guy who's seen a lot of football in Ames and in the Big 12. It's Sama on the run, and he is pulled back after a gain of 1. Talking to Matt Campbell about his quarterback, Rocco Beck, he said, when Rocco came into the game at TCU, end of the 22 season that was really going nowhere, he said, I knew everything was going to be fine with our team. Because you could see it on the sideline, you could see the reaction, you could see the way he handled the offense. Rocco Beck has made a living in games like this.
Yeah, you see it, the 7 game-winning drives. We're not at that point quite yet, but he knows what it takes to be effective in the fourth quarter. Oh my goodness.
Intercepted, taken away from Burkle. It's Satuala to the end zone for a touchdown.
Oh boy.
He got beaten on the opening play touchdown. Satuala's revenge gives BYU the lead.
And you see him right there. Falutua Satuala breaks on the football, not even interested in making the tackle. He was interested in making up for getting beat time and time again early in this game. And you see him running away there with the Jordan hands. Holy cow, man. What a play.
The lead by 14 now from Satuala, who literally flipped a coin to decide between BYU and Utah. The coin said BYU, and that 50-50 ball is his for a 14-point lead for BYU. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save, get more with Geico. BYU doubles the lead on a pick 6 from Faletau Satuala. See the points off turnovers. BYU has scored 31 of the last 34 in this game, as Zay Robinson will watch it go out of bounds. Another kick out of bounds. That's the 3rd kick out of bounds.
Kicking team, receiving team has elected to take the ball at the 35-yard line. First down.
Yeah, 3rd one combined. Time now for Above and Beyond, sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. Bear Bachmeier over 300 yards today, Robert.
Yeah. You talk about being able to win in multiple ways. Your star running back goes down. Who do you lean on? The arm of Bear Bachmeier and Parker Kingston going for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. And can't, not shine a light on what Carson Hansen has been able to do for Iowa State, running the football for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. This has been an offensive explosion that I don't think a lot of people anticipate.
It is Hansen, and he is knocked down, chopped by Johnson. 2nd down coming up. Boy, Iowa State's got to get out of the mud and fast here.
And here's the thing, Jason. You go back, you look at this game, and it's like, they're down 14. Well, where are those 14 points at? Well, they're when he overthrew Aiden Flora early in the game on a potential touchdown. And then when he threw the ball too high for so well in the back of the end zone. Now they have to clear all that and go put together a touchdown drive here.
Pressure from Alford up the middle that got picked up. Oh, Burkle gets dumped by Johnson. Evan Johnson is winning a wrestling tournament on a football field.
Who said corners don't tackle? Watch how Evan Johnson comes in here, puts his shoulder pad through the thighs and drives his feet. That's a picture-perfect tackle. He didn't wrap up, but he drove him back. Nice job right there by Evan Johnson, putting on for all the corners out there.
Kelly hopping around at the line. He'll fade back into coverage. Beck to throw. He gets it away. He's got Bramer and an Iowa State first down that's much needed to the 47 in BYU territory.
It's a little choice route there by Benjamin Bramer, just working back away from star linebacker for BYU, Jack Kelly. And if you're Rocco Beck, don't allow the last interception on the previous drive to affect your decision making. He has been making good decisions. He just has to be a little bit more accurate.
Tight ends were in motion. And now Zay Robinson going the other way. It's a handoff for Sama, and he's hit by Alford, who came in for the injured Siale Acera. And Alford, as we said earlier, has really settled into this game.
Yeah, he's playing really, really well. Right there, he even stacks and sheds the right tackle. Tyler Miller is a big guy. Max Alford's been all over the field.
Beck, a little short. And they're going to say this is caught, but let's see if the far side official changes the call. Carson Brown got his hands underneath, evidently. They're going to move the sticks. It's a gain of 9. Let's see.
Yeah, you see it come in there, hits him in the chest. Looks like it bounces off of his forearms and not the ground, so that's a catch.
It is, and they will stay with it. It's a handoff for Sama, who squeezes through, and Kelly makes the stop. It's a gain of 7.5. Second down coming up, and Iowa State going with tempo here.
This is exactly the kind of drive you want. You bring your quarterback out who just threw an interception. You get him a couple easy completions. You stay committed to the running game, even though you're down 14 here with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. There's no panic on that sideline. They just understand that every single drive they have to come away with 7 if they want to win this game.
Got 10 and change to go. There will be a couple of possessions, but this game has been prone to some long drives today. Beck with a pump. Now he fades to his right. He's got Sama with him, and he will throw it out of bounds. So third down and 3 coming up for Iowa State. What do you like in this play call coming up for the Cyclones, who probably have 2 downs?
Yeah, they run a ton of shallow cross in this inside of this offense, where they will have a receiver coming for another receiver, call it a mesh concept. I'd like to see them run one of those with a post over the top to one of these big guys, as in Benjamin Bramer, number 18. It seems to be a staple of what offensive coordinator Taylor Mauser likes to do.
Bramer at the bottom of the formation. They'll roll that direction. Beck is hit, and he's knocked down. It's Alford again. Rocco Beck got hit. It is fourth down coming up. It's a loss of 2.
I don't love the play call here because they bring a corner route and they're running to the short side of the field and not really giving Rocco Beck many opportunities.
And it's to his left hand.
Yeah.
Robert.
Which is a harder throw for a right-handed quarterback. Rolling to the right, it's like flick of the wrist, it's there. When you roll to the left, you got to get your shoulders downhill and your hips towards the throw, and right there, you don't have enough space to get it done.
Press coverage shown up top of the slot for BYU. Beck to throw on fourth down. Bramer with the catch, and he has the first down. Ben Bramer. Gain of 6. They had to have 5.
Yeah, he's going to come a little release here and then get outside on this out route. They push vertical with on the tight end with the corner route. Nice, easy pitch and catch. If I'm BYU, I'd probably have somebody stacked right there. Taylor Mauser, the offensive coordinator for Iowa State, knows that if they put the receivers away, the corners will go with them in man coverage, which puts your lesser good cover guys on the tight ends down to the short side of the field.
2 wide receivers in. They run it with that formation, and it's not much for Sama. It's a half yard maybe. Lutui with the stop. We're under 9 minutes to go now. Iowa State has 3 timeouts, but if they want to stay in the Big 12 race, they've got to come back.
Yeah, 100%. And it's almost like Abu Sama III and Carson Hansen have kind of switched roles today. Abu Sama is really the one that's the big play back, and Hansen's the one that's a downhill 2 to 3 yards guy. But if there was ever a time for Abu Sama to come out and have one of those big-time runs, this would be the moment.
Second down. Beck to throw on a slant. It is incomplete. Evan Johnson on coverage that time against Eskelson, and it's 3rd and 10. Evan Johnson feels real good right now.
Oh my goodness, Evan Johnson, you see him right here to the top of your screen. Watch him stay in phase. Gets hands on the receiver and goes with him. I mean, you're talking about a guy being able to jam and then run with the receiver. Evan Johnson is having himself a drive right now.
Iowa State fans, you wouldn't blame him for thinking pass interference there.
No, you wouldn't blame him at all, but he's getting his hands on, and then his eyes are straight to the football, and the receiver's also putting hands on him as well, so that's free game.
They just motioned Hansen. Now Burkle, the tight end, moves as well. Beck on the roll. Rocco Beck comes back this way. Incomplete drop by Flora. He could have walked into the end zone. Instead, it's 4th down. And Rocco Beck has to steel himself after this.
Oh my goodness, Flora. Distraction drill with Therion Alexander III coming across, but he knows he's beat. And Flora, who got overthrown early in the game, comes back, has his opportunity, and drops a touchdown pass that could totally flip the momentum of this game. Rocco Beck's got to clear that and be ready to make a big-time throw here on 4th and 10.
Right now. Beck, 4th down. He'll throw it this way, incomplete. Alexander, the coverage of Eskelson, and Iowa State turns it over on downs. There are 3 touchdowns that have been available: an overthrow, a misfire, and a drop. And man, the details Matt Campbell was talking about just haven't been there. Alexander says, what I do. There's a reason Alexander was saying what I do. Looked like he had the face mask here.
Yeah, this is definitely pass interference. He has the hand on the shoulder, and then he pulls the face mask as Eskelson is trying to turn and make this play. So BYU definitely got away with one right there, and Iowa State fans have every right to be upset about it.
A couple of possible penalties on that drive. It is Rex now on the run, and this is where L.J. Martin normally thrives. It'll be 2nd down. Back to that play, though, on the other side.
And even to make things worse, you're going to see Chase Sowell right here at the top of your screen. Gets a freaky good release off the line and is wide open for a touchdown. And Rocco Beck just wasn't looking in his direction. So not only did not get the face mask call for pass interference, but they also miss a wide open wide receiver. And that's putting a lot of pressure here on this defense to not just get a stop, but get a quick stop to allow this offense to get back on the field and potentially get within 7.
It's a run, and look out. Bear Bachmeier has a 1st down. It's a gain of 12.
I call this the anything you can do, we can do better play. They're going to bring these 2 tight ends across the formation, token fake to the back. Now you got 2 lead blockers in front of you. Bear Bachmeier, hey, you know, I can go run through and try to run through these safeties, or I can just slide down, get a nice easy 1st down, keep the hits off the body. He understands how important he is to this team now, especially with their starting running back, L.J. Martin, out for the rest of the game.
Yeah, this offense is now going for a bear hug just to wear you down, fatigue you. It is a handoff. It's Navahine who goes helmet first down to the ground. And we invite you to make sure you take a listen to my partner's podcast, Out of Pocket with RG3, available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Hey, man, we're having a lot of fun with this. If you love sports and love to have a good time talking about it, come and join our huddle. We're going to have Jason Benetti on the show. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Go to YouTube, leave comments, follow us on social media. It'll be myself and 97-time All-American Grete Griffin having a good time with you guys.
She's inching up to 100.
It's getting close.
Very close. 2nd down and 9. Bachmeier, short set. He's going to run, and Bachmeier gets twisted around by McDonough. It'll be 3rd down coming up. Clock moving down to 6 minutes.
As you
Bear is limping a little bit.
Ooh, and that's not a good sign because, you know, with a big physical quarterback like Bear Bachmeier, the hits start to add up just like it does for anybody. No one's truly at 100%. Most people are operating about 80 to 85. But here you got a 2-touchdown lead. You don't want to continue to run him on quarterback powers. Use some of those other guys to get some of these runs, or allow him to continue to get out there and throw the football.
Quick set, it's a screen. It's Kingston putting his head down into Bell, and Trey Bell with a marker in is out of bounds, about 5 yards short. Let's see what the penalty is. Everybody's feeling it. You can see it on their faces right now. It is October in the Big 12.
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 71. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So it's going to be 4th down, and you wouldn't imagine BYU is going to go for it. That's why Matt Campbell declines the penalty. But you could think about it.
Yeah, you could think about it, but I think it's a smart decision right here. You talk about Isaiah Jada is the one who blocked in the back there, but they just need the ball with time. Yeah. Time is their friend. Or isn't their friend right now. It's BYU's friend, so don't let them take another play and potentially hit a shot down the field and stay on the field.
BYU snapped that with 17 on the play clock, and the clock was moving. I don't know that they recognized the clock was moving at the time. They could have sapped some more time off. Our game summary sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. It was a punt, though, that totally changed this game.
Yeah, first half it was Rocco Beck's interception. Second half it was right here with the stepping on the football when it's supposed to be a Peter situation. And guess what? BYU takes advantage of it. Parker Kingston, the little big man, goes up and makes the play. And then Satuala wants the balla and just takes the football away and runs it back for a pick 6. It's been that kind of day for Rocco Beck. It started out hot, and somehow, some way, he has to find a way to get the train back on the tracks.
Surrounded by receivers who are not nearly the same time on task with him as he's had in previous years. So he's got to build trust in a heartbeat. Hansen out of the backfield gets by Kelly, and then Johnson sideswipes him. 2nd down. Rocco Beck put together some cut-ups this week during the bye week as well to show the receivers plays where they weren't on the same page. Yeah. Right? And that was an effort to build a sort of trust for a spot like this, but they're running out of time.
And he talked about not having Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, but these guys do have talent, and he wants to help them be successful.
Beck got it away for Townsend, and it's a 1st down to the 38. Tanner Wall with the stop. Tanner Wall, who grew up really sad when you got injured in your NFL career. Huge RG3 fan.
Yeah, he said when I tore my ACL in Washington, he actually shed tears.
Yep. Many of us did.
I did as well.
I'm certain of that. There's a marker in.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 0. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Yeah, it's on the receiver so well.
And we keep talking about it. It's like, hey, man, there's 4 minutes left in the 4th quarter. You're down by 2 scores, and you cannot afford to have penalties like that put you behind the chains in 1st and 15. And when we talked to Rocco Beck about not having Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, it was these types of moments that he misses them the most.
He gets it away this time, and it's Eli Green, the senior transfer from North Dakota State. He'll pick up 11. It's 2nd down, moving down to 4 minutes to go. There are 3 timeouts for Iowa State, but they gotta score soon. Beck for Bramer. Ben Bramer sidesteps Kelly and finally gets taken down across the 45 to the 41. Gain of 15. And a 1st down.
And there goes that shallow cross concept I was talking about. Get your underneath guy with your deep sit in the middle of the field by the other tight end, and Rocco Beck reads that perfectly.
Another clean pocket. This one is on target for Green, and Eli Green hauls it in again. That's 15 more. Now they're rolling. Some rhythm for the offense of the Cyclones.
Rocco Beck is willing and dealing, and you said they need to score fast. He realizes that, and he got him back up to the line of scrimmage again.
Let's see. Timeout somebody. Looks like BYU called it. So 3:21 to go. BYU by 2 scores. We're back in 30 seconds to Ames. Start Saturday strong with the undefeated, top-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. They'll take on rival Penn State at the Horseshoe. That would be a fulfilling win for Penn State with all the carnage this year. 10 a.m. Eastern, Big Noon kickoff live from Columbus. Then Penn State, Ohio State, Big Noon Saturday, only on Fox. Rocco Beck told us this week that the 2-minute offense is fun for him because you kind of get on a roll, but the defense typically gives you some more basic coverage patterns, and they're taking the 15s when they're available. Here comes Schoonover, and he got him. Bodie Schoonover takes down Beck.
And this is just what you call a nice individual effort right here for Bodie Schoonover. He's going to get off the ball. That's the first thing. Then gets his hands on the tackle, gets around the edge, and gets to the feet of the quarterback.
Here's Beck. They're going again. Rocco Beck evades Kelly this time and has to throw it downfield and incomplete. Tanner Wall was the only guy in the area. It'll be 3rd and 13 for Iowa State. That 3rd sack of the day, huge for BYU.
Yeah, and they're almost doubling Benjamin Bramer now because they know that is where Rocco Beck's comfort zone is. That's his comfort food right now within this offense, and being sticky in coverage everywhere else. That's a bad combination when you're getting after the quarterback by only rushing 3 to 4 guys and everyone else is in coverage.
What does that feel like as a quarterback?
It just feels like there's 12 people out on the field. You know, you're used to getting those one-on-one matchups or finding holes in the zone, and right now Rocco Beck is not getting that.
On 3rd down, and a flag comes in. It's going to be 3rd and 18.
False start on Townsend there, number 4.
False start. Offense, number 4. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
This is not a very heavily penalized team for Matt Campbell. They're usually very good at this. And you just see some of the inexperience and the lack of, I don't want to say cohesiveness, but experience together.
Yeah, and they've got a couple new receivers that came to them through the transfer portal, and they just, like you said, they haven't had as much time on task. Now, Rocco Beck did say that's made him a better leader because he's had to take more ownership of this group, but he would really love for them to show up front here.
BYU rushes 4. Beck spins out of it. He throws, and there's a marker in against Maury Bamba.
That's going to be defensive holding on Maury Bamba.
Talmoy Payau almost got the sack, and then downfield after all that, a penalty holding. That's just a killer.
Defense number 4. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, you see it right here at the bottom of your screen, Maury Bamba. Hey, in those stop-and-go situations, don't grab and hold. He stops. Oh, he caught him off guard. He pulls him all the way, almost all the way down to the ground with his shoulder pads. That's always going to get called by the refs. They're going to see that. And now it gives Iowa State new life. Ideally here they would score before the 2-minute timeout so they can preserve as much time as possible. They also have those 3 timeouts still in their bag.
Beck on first down, right down the middle. It's Bramer, and it's 1st and goal for Iowa State. That was a 3rd and 18 that the penalty turns into a first down. Another hit for 15. And Iowa State quickly to the line.
And right there, another mesh concept, getting those guys down the middle of the field with a deep sit. Beautiful job.
It's Flora into the end zone, touchdown. There is a marker in. We'll see if it stands. It's back at the 10.
It's going to be a hold on Bramer.
Offense number 18. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Would have been the 2nd touchdown for Flora. Instead, it's off the board.
And you're going to see Benjamin Bramer is right here, and he is going to end up blocking the defensive end and grabbing him by the neck. Can't put him in a chokehold, all right? This is not the Undertaker out there trying to throw somebody through a table. If you're Benjamin Bramer, use your hands, not your biceps around the guy's neck.
Yeah, you don't want a tombstone on 1st and goal.
No, you do not.
Timeout. Kalani Sitake out on the field to call the timeout for BYU. Timeout number 2. He's trying to charge his Cougars up here. Here's what's at stake. BYU trying to stay unbeaten overall in the league as well. Cincinnati and BYU would play in the Big 12 title game if it started today. But everybody else below is rooting for Iowa State here to try to drag one of those unbeaten teams back into the pack.
Yeah, 100%. And really, if you're an Iowa State fan and you're on this sideline right now, you're focused on one thing and one thing only. This is your season here, right? You come into the year, you start 5-0. You want to have an opportunity to play for a Big 12 title and potentially go to the college football playoff. If you lose this game and you go to 3 losses, and then you end up being 2-3 in the conference, all of those goals that you set out at the beginning of the year are basically gone. Yeah. So they've got 2 minutes and 22 seconds here to find a way to not just claw back, potentially win. And like we said before, you want to score here in at least the next 22 seconds. Even though you have those 3 timeouts, time is everything for Iowa State right now.
Yeah, an extra ability to stop the clock never hurts. They're going to go from the 18. Beck, here comes Johnson. He gets away for a moment and down he goes. Schoonover has been a total menace on this drive.
Whew. Wow. Great pressure there from Evan Johnson, number 0, off the edge, and Schoonover just cleans it up on the back end. You dodge one guy, but then you got a whole bunch of other Cougars coming to track you down.
Game 2 coming up from Rogers Center in Toronto. The Blue Jays, a 1-0 leader with a big offensive display. Addison Barger, the pinch hit grand slam. And the Blue Jays trying to get to 2-0. Game 2 of the World Series begins next right here on Fox. They're hoping not to have that level of sort of malaise after a tough day for Iowa State. They took the lead. Some miscues that really hurt.
Yeah, and that last play, that sack was the last thing that you wanted to happen in that situation. Rocco Beck, you got to try to find a way to get that one dirted in front of someone that's an eligible receiver.
Beck over the middle, got it to Green. That's his 3rd catch on the drive. Remember, they had the touchdown with 2:22 to go on the Flora score, the holding penalty, the sack, and now it's 3rd and goal.
And that was a solid open field tackle there by Ace Kafusi. Just they're trying to get them the ball, and now they're wasting time just as the clock continues to click down on third and goal here
from the 27. Beck down the middle into traffic and nearly intercepted. Tanner Wall tried to go low. Latui tipped it, and it's 4th and goal.
Oh my goodness, 3 Cougars had a chance to pick that one off. Logan Latui first tips it as you see it here. With the neck roll, goes up, goes between his hands. Satuala almost caught it, and then Tanner Wall is sitting there like, oh man, if I was just a step closer, I could have caught it. But that's what happens when it's 3rd and goal from the 26-yard line. Now they're sitting at 4th and goal. This ball has to be thrown inside of the 5-yard line, if not into the end zone.
Here we go. Game on the line. BYU gets there anyway, only rushing 3. It's intercepted by Johnson. Very fitting. Evan Johnson has been awesome in the secondary for BYU, and the Cougars, with 1:14 to go, have it back.
Wow.
They only rushed a couple, and Akana, you're talking about an individual effort here.
There he is, Akana, number 13, coming off the edge, smashes Rocco Beck, doesn't even allow him to get fully through this throw, and then there's our guy, Evan Johnson, who has been making plays all day long in the pass game, in the run game, making tackles in the open field. Seals the deal for the BYU Cougars, who come down to Ames and exercise the demons of them never beating this team before.
5-0 all time, Iowa State over BYU. The Cyclones do have 3 timeouts, so they may get the ball back, but things are looking bleak for Iowa State. This run, Navahine. And here we go again. BYU pushing a Cougar all the way downfield. This is an unstoppable offensive line when they're feeling like this.
Oh my goodness, you want to talk about a team that came down, that had a team in Iowa State come to them 2 years ago and physically dominate them up front, and now they're doing it. And you look at the remaining schedule, it's a gauntlet. They got 2 ranked teams there, Texas Tech and Cincinnati. The combined records of the teams they face over the next 4 weeks is 22-6. So getting a bye, coming down here to Ames, Iowa, and getting this win in the fashion that they did is only going to skyrocket their confidence for the rest of this season.
They'll run it again. Navahine They're going to say he's short. That's going to be it. BYU, you said it. The schedule does not lighten up, but Bear Bachmeier continues to charge this team forward. I believe we've had a timeout, so the clock is stopped at 20 seconds. The teams are walking onto the field. The clock operator is the only person who doesn't think the game is over, and in 15 seconds now it will be. First time BYU is 8-0 to start a year in back-to-back seasons. Something special is happening in Provo. That'll do it from here in Ames. For Alexa and Robert, I'm Jason, our entire crew. Game 2 of the World Series next.
It is Game 2 of the World Series, and Yoshinobu